Hey, Clay, it's muted. Hey, Clay, it's muted. Hey, Clay, it's muted.
Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in, everybody, to our very first annual Community Roundtable.
Whoops. Annual, monthly, you mean?
Monthly, yes.
Wow, that was beautiful music.
You like that, did you, Paul Vault?
Yeah, that was great. I wished I knew who did that.
Well, was this Sunshine Archer? I think she's in the chat, and I think she had a little help from this pole vault guy.
Yeah, pretty nice guy.
All right, I first want to welcome in everybody to our first roundtable event. We definitely want to try and do this often, not only to have communication between content creators, but also have communication with you guys that are out there in chat. You guys out there in chat visit every single one of our shows. So you guys get to see the bigger picture that us as content creators may not know. So for the next couple hours, you guys get to ask questions, get to discuss, or have any concerns that you guys may have that you guys can bring to our attention so that we as content creators can discuss them and try and figure out how to move forward, whether that be from trolling, from many different categories. So that's the idea with these things. It's just to get more community feedback, and especially community feedback from you guys over there in chat, because you guys see way more than we do up here behind the camera. Us as streamers, a lot of times we're posting links, we're getting the next links ready to play. So we don't get to see everything that you guys see. So that
Right.
is what we're going to be discussing.
Yeah, because it's been recently. Well, let me say first off, there's always going to be drama. You get people, there's going to be drama. That's just how it is. But there have been some pretty big drama, I guess, kind of events in the past year. There's been a couple of pretty big ones that I can think of. We're not going to talk about people. We will talk about behaviors today. So even in the chat, don't bring up anybody, but you can bring up the behavior that you experience.
Yeah,
And
this isn't a name calling. We're not calling anybody out by names.
Right.
But there's definitely
Yeah.
behaviors is what we want
Yeah.
to discuss because
Yeah.
that's what you guys see.
And the thing is that we want to be a community. Um, like with my show, I want it to be a safe space where it feels inclusive for everybody, and there's not some person disrupting things or being toxic, and maybe I don't even realize it. Kind of happening behind my back, and at the same time, we don't want people that may be involved in our chats or in our shows, and then them going over to other shows and being a disruptor over there, and then we somehow are seen as co-signing that behavior or
Right.
being seen as part of some like scheme to disrupt other shows. So that's the main thing is in talking about these different behaviors and what can we do, what should we do, and how to move forward just to make the community better and how to pull the community together more. So
Exactly. If say for instance, I have a toxic person in my chat, but they're a nice person in Chad's chat, well, that's still people are gonna see him over in Chad's chat, be like, well, that dude's hanging over in Chad. What's the deal with him? Well, he may be okay in Chad's chat, where he may be toxic in mine, and that I don't think is good behavior as well. Especially in the music community, we're here to support and lift people up. We're not here
right,
to talk
right.
about your bananas or whatever else you want to talk about. You know what I mean?
Bananas. Did I miss a meeting?
Well, me and Povalt sometimes do talk about bananas, though. We were talking about how you can't mix bananas in a bowl, like you can't
Chad
peanut
tries to
butter.
stir them in a bowl. You can't do that. I think the key here is we would like to grow,
Yeah,
and to grow
definitely.
as a community, we have to make sure that people feel welcome and they feel
Hmm.
like no place is going to be 100% safe place, and some
Right.
people are not going to agree, but at the
Hmm.
same time, I feel like there's a line that we can all agree. We've all came here to see music, and
Hmm.
we can all agree on that. And sometimes when you go outside, of that barrier, people have differing opinions and they can get pretty heated about that. But like I said, the main thing is I would love to see is the community to grow. And to do that, you have to make people feel welcome.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I'm sorry. Go ahead, Pete.
Yeah, no, I just, first of all, thank you for having me along, by the way. Speaking of community, Chad reached out and invited folks to come along here, so thank you for having me here. But yeah, like it is so important that uh, you have that definition, and I think expectations and setting expectations is really part of that with a community. And I know from what I've watched of your channels and what you folks do, you have pretty clear expectations around what your expectations of people actually are. And I think that's the one of the biggest things in life as well as in music communities is that if people don't know not the rules but the guidelines, like they know how this is how we behave in this community, this is how what the expectations are, this is what is cool, and this is what is 100% not cool. And I think as soon as you make that really clear distinction and set that example and don't allow any sort of variation from that, it's the best way to not look at control. Sounds bad, and I know people say free speech and censorship and all that sort of stuff, but
Hmm.
as you said before, it's about the music. And this isn't, if you want to go and talk politics, go to a political group. If you want to go and talk about other things, there's other groups for that, but for music, that's what it's about. And yeah, you guys have very cool communities, so thank you for having
Well,
me along.
And we should introduce everybody in case not everybody knows who everybody is. There's 42 people watching. Uh, so if you all are new to me, of course, you know I'm a conspiracy musicer. Clay, as most know, I normally do I share indie music on Friday nights, and then usually on this slot on Sundays is our Rock and Rabbit Holes, where we do the music conspiracy shows. But we're giving it up for this first time so we can do this community roundtable. So I mostly am just a musician that plays music, but I ended up being part of the promotion, I guess you could say, and I share a lot of my indie friends, and that's how I got to meet Chad. And Chad does the same thing on Facebook, so that's why we combined, and now we have a nice bridge where people are coming over from Facebook and combining into YouTube, which has been awesome. So we've definitely been playing a lot of music lately with people that have, 3 subscribers because they're brand new to the YouTube community. So it's nice that the Facebook side knows that there's a home for their music on YouTube as well, and we're just one of the homes. So, all right,
I
Chad.
guess so. Okay. Yep, I'm Chad. Most of you may know who I am, but yeah, I do the Headphones and Microphones Facebook group. And from that, started my own show, The Ham Show, on Saturdays, 4 p.m. Eastern. And yeah, I rather quickly been pretty successful with that show. And I think that I am pretty good at just keeping things positive and weeding out negativity. But sometimes I'm a little bit accepting of people. I'm accepting of all people. And sometimes that might get me into a little bit of a bad spot as far as accepting people for who they are and not having expectations of them to act a certain way. But at the same time, I think because of the positivity of my show, I've definitely been able to make it pretty successful pretty quickly. And a lot of that's thanks to Clay as well, because I do co-host his Friday show. And I'm just a promoter. I'm very much kind of a producer at heart. I come from film and a film festival. And now I'm just kind of doing what I did in that world with music and doing it here on YouTube. So and yeah, I just want to see the community grow because the bigger we make things, the better it is for all of the musicians and everybody getting their music out there and getting it heard.
Yeah, yeah.
Pole vault.
And I'm a guy that just beats on instruments a lot and has no shame. So I actually post that to the internet to make all my friends and family even further into shame. So that is basically what I do, and that shame knows no end. So that's why I want to see the community to grow, because the bigger the community, the further the shame goes.
You Quincy.
That's honorable, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm Quincy Kane. I'm a solo recording artist. I've been on YouTube for a while. Been learning recording music for quite a while, and kind of working on my craft and doing that. And fairly recently started getting into live streams, and have since sort of kind of dabbled in it, and then decided I wanted to kind of double down on it. It's been I think it's been more appropriate for me as far as pursuing a music career, being a solo artist in my particular style of music, which is a heavier style of music, kind of metalcore, alternative metal stuff. I play with a backing track, but it's kind of hard to book local gigs, both just for the genre itself, and I guess since I don't have like a band to play with, and so live streams have been a real blessing. And pretty much my biggest success so far has actually come from live streams, and it's been cool, like meeting people online. And so I've just sort of recognized how valuable of a resource it is. And I'm fairly new to this particular community. I saw Dom in the chat, and Dom actually, I don't. It's weird how the internet works, because I did a metal cover of the song "Into the Unknown" from the movie Frozen 2, and I posted a tutorial teaching how to make a music video with iMovie, because I actually edit most of my videos with iMovie. I don't use any, you know, yeah, nothing too complicated. It's pretty simple. And he checked out the tutorial and thought the music sounded cool. And so kind of, I think he attended some of my streams and then messaged me, invited me to be a guest on his stream, and then kind of somehow hooked me up with Chad and invited me. And I've since, yep, there's Dom out there. Hey, and have since, yeah, kind of I don't know. It's you know, still getting to know everyone, but it's been really nice. It really is a cool community. It's a lot of people who do seem to just be passionate about music and seem to be very supportive and encouraging of each other. And so yeah, I guess that's a little. And I yeah, I stream once a week on Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that's a bit about me, I guess. So.
Yeah, and he rocks, you guys. If you guys haven't been to a
Definitely.
Quincy Kane stream, man, he definitely
Appreciate
rocks.
that, guys.
And I do have all the links of the panel members down in my description if you're in the Conspiracy Music chat, so you can go down there and get all the descriptions. Now, I'm excited that Pete Johns is here. You're amazing, Pete Johns, and I'm a big fan of you, my friend.
Well, thank you. Appreciate you. Yeah,
I know there's a lot of people in my chat that probably, well, other than the artists, of course, they all know who you are, but I do a lot of work outside of the music community, so that I bring a lot of people in that aren't necessarily from the indie music community, so there's probably a lot of people here that don't or might not know who you are, so let them know who you are.
Yeah, so Pete Johns out of Australia, as you can probably tell. So I'm enjoying my morning coffee over here. So I run a YouTube channel and a website called Studio Live Today. I've been doing that for just over 7 years now. And my goals and my passions over there are to help folks just like you, just like folks in this community, create, record, and release their best music. So originally I started that by doing tutorials about how to create music in GarageBand specifically, because at that time GarageBand had this reputation as like, oh no, only amateurs use GarageBand, you can't make cool music in GarageBand. So I wanted to kind of prove that, yeah, you can. It doesn't matter about the gear, it's about the songwriting, it's about the talent, it's about getting it out there. And then over time, I sort of built up a community of folks who wanted to create music, and I realized that a lot of folks needed an outlet for sharing that music. So one of the more popular shows that I have now on my channel is called Your Music Live. And the reason that I love this community and folks that are sharing their music on these sort of streams and these sort of platforms is it's given everyone a voice. It's lowered that barrier of entry to the point where everyone can have a go. Whether you're a weekend warrior that's only got a few hours to record, or you're someone like myself that does this sort of stuff full time, everyone's kind of on that equal level playing field and can get music out there. So my number one goal remains for the future to be, just helping folks create, record, and release cool music. And I've met a lot of really cool people along the way, dealt with some challenges, which is why I thought this was a really interesting topic as well around that, because there's plenty of folks that are going to tell you you can't do it. Plenty of people told me that I shouldn't be doing what I do. Got a face for radio and all that kind of jazz. So yeah, you get a lot of that along the way. And I think the reason that these sort of communities are so strong and powerful is that you get to select the people that are part of the community, and it's really easy. It becomes really apparent who's on the outskirts of that and who is putting behaviors out there and toxicity that is not right. And again, my big thing is, if someone's out there telling people that they suck or that they can't create music or their music's bad, that's not cool. Criticism is fine, feedback is fine, but it's got to be specific and helpful. Got to be building people up and not knocking people down. And that's the filter I put across everything. Is if you're building people up, you can tell me that my vocals are mixed too loud, and that's great. That's helpful. But if you just say, "This sucks, bro, you suck," guess what? I don't need to hear that. And if that's in a community on a consistent basis, I don't think that person is in a great space to help that community. So that's me. That's what I do, and that's my vibe.
Right.
I totally
cool,
agree
man.
with that, especially with like new. I mean, and some of the artists I know artists that are 11 years old. One of them actually plays on Clay's channel with his father, and he's great. But to dash, and disparage someone starting out, that's not what I want to be about. Because I mean, you want to encourage. I like to encourage people to put out music and to come into the community. but at the same time, you don't want them to just get bashed when they come in either, because that could totally wreck anything that was coming from them.
Well, and I don't want to start a cancel culture either, where people are getting
Right.
Hmm.
canceled, at the same time. But at the same time, there has to be a level of decorum uh, in the community that people have to stand by, or I mean, there just ain't going to be any place for them. I
Yeah,
mean,
spot on, Clay. And I think there's a real difference there. That's a really important and critical point, is that there's a difference between people's music or what people are doing and attacking a person for their own actual human qualities. So that's the big difference to me. The difference between someone who's a bully and a troll versus someone who is just trying to be helpful and maybe misdirecting. Maybe they're not positioning their feedback in a way that's helpful. I think on the second part, you can give someone feedback. And I've always said it's great because it's almost like it's a self-fulfilling prophecy that if someone has a comment and you say to them, hey, that comment was kind of out of line, like, yeah, I agree, you don't want to cancel people just for one thing. That comment was kind of out of line. Have you thought about maybe positioning it a little bit more constructively? If they come back at you with like, whatever, man, you suck, everyone sucks, well, guess what? They've just made your job really easy. If they come back and say, actually, I was having a really bad day that day, and I really didn't mean that, and thanks for the feedback, I'll definitely try to do better next time. It's just such an easy thing, and I think sometimes we overcomplicate it by worrying too much about, I don't know, the actual person, as opposed to people who are genuinely trying to help people act in a very predictable way, and people who don't. And you folks have all known it. I'm sure people in the chat know it. You see someone and they say something in a community, and you're like, yeah, this person ain't lasted more than 5 minutes here, because you know that they're about to say something else. So that's my experience anyway.
I think that's pretty good stuff. It's again, it's kind of interesting because I'm sort of new to this particular community. My experience with having to deal with anything like that is usually just comments or something from content being posted, and so where that might be a little different is that it's probably just some stranger that you've never, you don't know who they are, and then they show up and they say something, and you kind of have to choose how you want to respond to that versus maybe a community where um, it's yes, it could be a stranger showing up, but um, there's I guess how you're handling that, and maybe I'm trying to understand a little bit what we're trying to you know uh, dive into, I guess, a little bit as far as that, because I don't know if I are we is it usually just people, like just random people who kind of show up and then they just you know say something unnecessary, or is it ever a problem with people that you actually know them a little bit as a person, but they
I think
from
I
time to
think
time they
it's
get a little out of line or something.
I think it's
I
a
guess
bit of both.
Yeah, yeah, both,
Definitely a bit of
both.
both.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
I
because I
think
so
think
one,
uh,
so one thing I was going to say there is that um, there is a difference between, I feel, um, inside jokes, odd humor
mhm,
versus nastiness, sexism, negativity. There are
mhm,
some people that maybe connect on a certain humor that other people don't understand. Now that's not the kind of thing that I'm talking about, but I'm talking about, like, if that person's odd humor is perceived as negative by everybody and they're the only one in on that,
mhm,
then that's the kind of you know person that needs to go.
well, I think
Or
we cross some lines too, Chad, where
mm,
like, is this person actually, could they actually be dangerous? Are they
right,
making
right, right.
personal statements like, "Hey, I'm coming by your house tomorrow"? I mean,
mhm.
and as silly as that sounds,
Be
I've
like,
already
bring
had
it.
that kind of, well, yes, but at the same time, I'm like bringing that, but maybe, like I said, not everybody's like me,
Mhm,
and and I wanted to make it a safe place. And if someone's saying, "Hey, you know, I like you a lot, and I want to come see you," you know, Chad Joseph Freeman at 123 H Street. I'll see you tomorrow.
mhm.
There's a little bit difference in that, and you're a big poop head. you
Mhm.
know.
Right.
Yeah, well, and when we do our Sunday night, normally the Rock and Rabbit Holes, it's a little more risque than say the indie
Right.
show. We
Right.
talk about other stuff. It's a
Right.
different topic.
Right.
That may be a little bit different. We may let a little bit more go in the chat, depending on what it is. But still, personal attacks is definitely
Right.
a no. And
Well, and
racism,
that's
homophobic slurs, and anything like that. And you can just mention, especially here in America, you can just mention a freaking color, and you're going to start a fight in the chat. So there's just no place for stuff like that.
yeah
No
that
place for
that, that
politics and music.
that goes back to what I was saying about the inside jokes and odd humor. I think the silliness of the rabbit hole show, um, there maybe are people that aren't quite understanding the humor sometimes and may take offense to things that are said. But that's completely different. That's not at all what we're talking about. Um, the issue with the people of the community, um, I would say, is that kindness versus enabling is something that I think. Now, you can be kind and accept somebody how they are, whether they have some sort of mental issue, they have something going on that isn't quite right with them. But at the same time, you don't want to go to the point to where you are actually enabling them to act inappropriately. And we've had a number of people on a pretty big scale that have had instances with that a particular thing. And I think what happens is that sometimes is that those sort of people pull in um, individuals who actually care, and then it turns into something really ugly, and not quite sure how to deal with that type of situation outside of it just finally gets to a point where that person's gone. So
Mm. Yeah, it is a tough thing to manage, and I'm lucky again, touch wood, and I think it's part of the fact that the communities I've been involved with. So I'm involved, like Chad, on Facebook. The GarageBand users Facebook group's got like 11,000 members, and that's undergone some challenges where you get people, and the same sort of thing. You get people reporting something. You'd know that every time you get someone complaining or reporting about something, there's usually two different angles on that, and it can be
right,
difficult as a moderator or as someone. So for the people in the community here, if you haven't managed or moderated the community, there's a lot of decisions that need to be made, and you will have been part of communities where they're led from the top. And I think Mr. Smith said something before about similar to that, that you've got to be careful about the expectation you set, because what you do, but almost more importantly, what you don't do in terms of moderating a community can send a really
right,
clear message about what is and isn't accepted and what is
right,
funny, humor, wackiness, because you got to have that. Like, a sense of humor is very important
right,
in what we do. It's music. It should be fun. You shouldn't just be sitting there being, right, let's just do everything by the book. But the fine line between that and someone being left out of something and someone being deliberately excluded from an in joke, it's a really fine line that you got to balance. And I don't think we always get it
right,
right, but I think that's why, my first comment was it all comes down to expectation and intent. If your expectations are set clearly and your intent is positive, you're going to do the right thing 90% of the time, and the 10% of the time you get it wrong, you got to ask for forgiveness from the community and hope that you can rebuild if there's been something that's been damaged. But yeah, back to what I think Quincy and Paul were saying before. Yeah, the worst thing about any of this is that anyone, and I've seen it in my community as well, usually people in more minority groups, so usually women or people that are part of communities that are a minority, it only takes one or two people that attack them in what you might think is not even a very severe way for them to not create music anymore. And to me, that's the absolute disgrace and shame. And, I have people that tell me that there was one music teacher they had. You talked about the 11-year-old before. One music teacher I had when I was like 12 years old that told me I'd never be able to make good music. And then my confidence been shot ever since. So, yeah, things like that when it comes to toxicity and trolls, that's what I think is just the worst thing. Because if it's making people make less music and feel less confident about their music, then it's not on.
Well, I think what you guys are doing, is the right response. And the fact is, because you can't control people's actions, we can only control our own actions, and our actions have consequences for better or worse. And so, that example you just brought up of someone saying, a discouraging comment, it it's unfortunate that they believed it, that they believed what that person said, and they didn't have someone like you to tell them, no, that's not true. And so I think that's really the only way you can combat that kind of toxicity is by being a source of hope for people, being kind, and the people you interact with, being a person that supports and uplifts and encourages, and because the point, we live in an imperfect world. There's going to be hurtful people out there, and the truth is, there's the only thing you really can do about that. You can't really do anything to change them, but you can be that difference. You conduct yourself and you for people, and I think in doing that, I think in the situation of a community, kind of interesting. I don't know if I've ever paid much attention to like fan bases for certain bands and things, but some fan bases have a reputation for better or worse, and I do think sometimes the band and what their persona, what they that's going to attract a certain type of people. Think people that are loving and accepting are going to attract other people that are loving and accepting, and people that are very bitter and hateful are going to attract other people that are bitter and hateful. And so I think there's some, hopefully to you guys, I hope you find that encouraging to think. I think you guys having the mindset of being loving and accepting is going to have, from time to time, you're going to have those little bumps in the road, but I think the majority of what you're doing is going to build up the ideal community that you guys would like to have.
Well,
Yeah.
I've definitely hit bumps in the road since I started streaming. Chad is actually my third co-host, but it's going to be my final one because Chad's just level-headed, and he keeps me level-headed for the most part. Now, I, for the most part, am pretty level-headed. I kind of let the chat, for the most part, I know most of them, so I let them kind of rule themselves. But with me going out to all these new communities, there's a lot of new people that comes in. And I think currently I'm raking in about 300 a month new subscribers that I'm bringing into this community.
Wow.
So within that 300 subs every month, there's probably going to be some bad apples, and that's where I think just the content creators being on the same page, or maybe having one set of rules maybe for the moderators, so they all are on the same page. So some of these people are moderators in multiple channels, so they might moderate on one channel differently than they do on the other, and maybe we just need some kind of standard for that.
Yeah, spot on. And you'll know this, Clay and Quincy, from YouTube and Chad from Facebook in particular. For some reason, I seem to find Facebook has more of a challenge with this. The group and the culture of the group is very much driven by the team of moderators that are looking after it. And there could be headphones and microphones, which is like a great place, and people having good conversations and having really useful topics being discussed. And then an almost identical group can just have a different leadership and different expectations being set and just be a constant flame war. And it's really weird when you look at this, because you're like, what is the difference? And the difference is the people. And I think Frank made a great point here. It's like, we don't make the communities make us. So you as the leader or the moderator or the spanner or whatever title we want to give ourselves, you have to be looking, exactly as I think you said before, Clay, that you have to be looking to your community and let them guide what it's going to become. Because I didn't make Studio Live today what it is. The cool people that come and hang out made what it is. My moderators like Jade Starr and Thomas Kryes make it what it is, because they get me. They understand what my point is and what passion that we have for helping folks create music is, and they then lead and guide that. And I think you find the same in almost every community. It comes from, yes, it does come from the top down, but more importantly, it does bubble up from the bottom. And if you don't have that visibility of both ends and they don't align, that's where you get conflict.
I got a question to piggyback off that. So, is there a certain guideline that they have as moderators, though, that I guess rules of operating that you've agreed on, or is it more of an instinct thing?
Yeah, it's a really good point. Like I've never said in any of my Facebook groups or in the YouTube channel or with any moderators that here are the rules. I mean, there's on the Facebook groups, as you know, Chad, you have to have the set of these are the things you agree to when you come into this, and
Right.
it's all very basic. It's like
Right.
no hate speech, no spam, no all that sort of
Right.
thing. But yeah, it is a hard thing to actually define, and I'd even say that it kind of moves over time, which is a hard thing to get to a set of rules in place for as well. But yeah, it really does come down to what all the folks here were talking about before, which is that personal attacks are basically there are no second chances for a personal attack on someone. So that's kind of really well known that if someone comes in and just says something about another member of the community, that's not okay. So that's kind of the only kind of first strike and you're out. Usually, apart from that, it's pretty basic. It's like the 3 strikes, you're out. You'll get a warning, you'll get a second warning, and then you'll get your comments hidden from chat. And yeah, I don't know that Thomas and Jade and all the moderators kind of know that and know that I trust in their judgment around what people are doing. And me, I have the ultimate right to go back in and I guess re-add these people from YouTube. So I just say to them, hey, if it's disruptive, if it's creating a problem, you guys know what we're trying to do around here, so you do it. But yeah, it is a really hard thing to do because if you tried to write rules, I think it would be like a 20.5 page document for
Right.
every possible scenario that you could
Right.
come across in that. So yeah, it works really well for the most part. And again, that's why I say the whole 90% thing. No one's going to get it right perfectly all the time. And then they'll just send me a note and say, hey, this person did this. What do you think? Did I do the right thing? And I'll say, yep, great. Or hey, maybe a little harsh. Maybe we'll let him back in.
Bonnie made a comment here. Wrong one. There it is. Communicate with chat. They're your support and real people. Now that's the thing is, and I think that's part of why we want to do this roundtable is we want to communicate. We want the chat to know that they can communicate with us and also other channel creators, other streamers like yourself, Pete. I think we should all, talk about the issues and talk about if there are specific troublemakers that we're running into and kind of share that information amongst each other. And so I think, that was one of the part of the title of this was communication is key. And that's what I really want to get across is that we should be communicating as a community. I mean, it's communication and community. They start out the same way as far as how they're spelled. So it's a big part of it.
Yeah, 100%. I'd be interested in the folks in this panel and your actual because it might be interesting to just think of your definition. You've got toxicity and trolls in the title there as well. What is toxicity? Like, what is toxic behavior versus like is that just all bad behavior, or is there something that pushes it over the line for toxic? I'm keen to hear what folks in the panel here think.
Here's and this is something that I've discussed with Volvault and Clay. Troll is. You know what, Pete? I don't like your hat. Your hat is stupid. I don't like
it. Go Knights, go.
Whereas toxicity is more like, I'm going to shoot you if you don't take that hat off. I mean, that's kind of extreme, but I mean, that's kind of where I'm going. It's just toxicity is I guess troll is making fun, whereas toxicity is making someone feel uncomfortable or making someone feel unsafe, whether it be in a space or in within their own person or in their own house. Even I mean, I think toxicity is very generic, but at the same time, I think. That's there is a separation I see because trolling it can be more silly and goofy, whereas toxicity is more of a trait I think of people that are just awful people, and they kind of
okay. I like that.
Yeah, from within and goes out. So
yeah, so it sounds like trolls are more the people that I give the warning and they go, oh, okay, sorry, I'll back off. Yeah, maybe I was pushing the envelope a little bit there. Maybe I'll back off. And someone toxic would go, well, screw you, dude. Yeah, then I hate you double. Right. So yeah, okay. Well, there you go.
Most trolls what I refer to as trolls. I used to moderate for an esports company, still do sometimes, and that gets a little crazy. Um, but most trolls that I think of trolls, they're there for the one hit. They're not even there. They hardly even know, hey, is this even a music channel? This is just a live. I'm going over live. Hey, y'all stink, and with one little timeout or delete the comment and they're gone. That's usually what I refer to as a troll.
Mm,
More toxic behavior to me would be someone that may stay with you and is maybe a member of the community or something, but it's just constantly like, hey, that guy really needs to up his game, or hey, this guy is just really not shouldn't even be hanging out with us or something. and
Well,
and in school I didn't like the cool kid clique in school, and certainly still don't like it now. And I just feel like, once again, everybody needs to be welcome for the community to grow, and I want it to grow.
now I think for me, like the difference between trolls and toxicity. Trolls are chat disruptors. They come in, they disrupt your chat. Anything to disrupt your chat, change the subject or whatever the panel's on to whoever it is they are in chat. Now, toxicity is somebody that may be a community member and that acts a certain way, but it's just repeated behavior. No matter where they are, what channel it in, it's just repeated behavior. So that's the difference for me.
mm,
Um, I was going to say, rather than just looking at what the person does, but thinking about the intent behind the action, because I think the
yeah.
intent is very different for each person. For a troll, like, what is that person trying to accomplish? Me, I imagine someone who's probably just kind of bored and looking, looking for something to amuse themselves, and they get
Yeah.
amusement out of kind of being annoying, like intentionally annoying, like they know their intent. They show up somewhere with the intent to kind of draw attention to themselves and sort of be that silly, but a little like too silly. Like, all right, that's a little much. It's kind of
Yeah.
sort of the that might be the person where you're like, hey, you might need to chill out some, or that they're yeah, kind of giving them a warning or so. Where I think the intent behind someone, a toxic person, if you really think of the meaning of the word toxic, I mean, it means poisonous, and so it
Mm,
means I think the intent is to hurt someone. The intent is to harm someone, and just that person who knows what they're dealing with. They probably are struggling with some things themselves that they hate about themselves, and they counter that by spreading that hatred to others. By they try to make themselves feel better by belittling others, by looking for something to hate, to destroy, to hurt in others, just to get some kind
mm,
of satisfaction for themselves. And so it's a little bit, I think, kind of as we've touched on a bit, it's kind of a darker scenario. The other one, kind of just troll, just kind of being like a little, just too annoying, a little too over the line with some things. Toxic, someone who's probably just kind of got some heavy stuff going on in their own life, and they're taking that out on other people with the intent to hurt them.
Hey, I want to
Right.
just take a quick break real quick because we do have 63 people watching. We should probably shout them out. We haven't said hi to anybody. So if you guys want to help me, there's a lot of people
Hey,
hanging
everyone.
out. I see Billy the Kid Norwood, Midnight Bandit, Pookie Ann, good to see you guys. Princess OPD, good to see you, Princess. JM Unleashed, Billy the Kid Norwood. Uh,
Shelly
11 Aspen,
Morrison.
that's a new one. The Dog Paw, Woof, good to see you, Doc. Axiom, Independent Men United, good to see you, Indy. Scarlet Star, good to see you, Scarlet.
Dick
Sunshine, Chris Lane Sr., Bonnie's,
Frank
Hugh
Curzon.
Caldwell, Joe Norman,
Midnight
Piano
Bandit.
Matronini, Kim's
Brad
Creations,
Example.
Midnight Bandit, Brothers on Guitar, wow. Dom Torregrosse, Chris Lane Sr., man, we got the whole
Yeah.
community out
All-star
tonight. Brad
viewing
Example,
cast.
good to see you, Brad.
not a troll
And
amongst them.
Hey,
I
Brad,
do.
don't worry about Princess. She's cool, my friend.
I did want to point out that we did invite a lot of other people to take part. Some of those are even in the chat. Y'all are welcome to come up if you want to at any point. But yeah, I think that a lot of people were kind of worried with doing this the first time. What is this? And I know I felt that some people even kind of felt like that they're on the chopping block in some sense. And then like Frank was just asking, are we a toxic community? Do we have a lot of trolls? Well, here's the thing: is that we want to grow, we want to get bigger. We also want this to be a community that I don't know if you've noticed, but I've been pushing, and it's been spreading over to Clay's channel, but want to get women musicians more involved and have them feel that this is a safe place that they can come to, and they're not going to have to deal with sexism and just getting hit on and things of that nature, being sexualized. So that is a part of it, is growing. I mean, women are 50% of the population, so we want them to be a part of it. And there are a lot of amazing women musicians, so we want to make sure and take care of any issues that are already here, and then get ahead of it before in the future. So
that's one. Yeah, that's a really good point, Chad, because that's one of the saddest emails I get, because they're usually emails, because it's usually from women who have tried to be part of communities, who've made comments, and what you see, and hopefully women in the chat can actually verify this, and not only women, but people from any minorities or any other genders that are not represented. It is, I think, 10 times harder, because what we see is just what's commented. We don't see the creepy dude sliding into DMs. We don't see the behind the scenes chatter that goes on for a lot of people that have to deal with on a regular basis. So I think, to Frank's point, do we have outward facing? Because I guess that's the other thing, is to Quincy's point, some of the toxic people are so toxic that they know they're going to get banned the second they do certain things. So they're smart. If they put their smarts into good instead of evil, they'd be fine. But they're smart, and they work around these sort of things by targeting people and targeting little sort of subgroups of groups. And that's where I think the toxicity, like poison, kind of gets into the bloodstream of a community. It might not even be present and visible, but it's there and it's bubbling under the surface. So that's an excellent point from you, Chad, to say that we need to make sure that everyone's welcome. Because again, why do you care a person's gender or sexuality, or if they're creating great music? We just want cool music.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, and I say this often during the show. When you go to a concert and you're seeing your favorite band up there rocking out in concert, do you honestly look next to the person next to you and wonder why he voted for who he voted for? No, it's the last thing that you want to do at a concert. And that's the same kind of space that we want here. We want people to come in and have a good time, leave all the inhibitions at the door, and just be respectful. And that's everywhere. That's not just my channel. That's Pete John's channel. That's Chad's channel. That's Quincy's channel. That's Hippie's channel. That's Leela's channel. That's everybody's channel,
And it kind of seems like there's a lot of divisiveness happening anyway, and I think we need more things that unite people, and I think music is one of those things, can be one of those things, and so yeah, it's definitely nice to make sure that that's what it is, because I'm sure people can use music to be divisive as well, but it's nice to use it to unite. It's like I kind of like that illustration of being at a show, and you look next to you, and whoever, you don't know who that person is, but there's something, you both love this artist, and it's like, I think that's just such a nice thing, that hey, we both, doesn't really matter our backgrounds and beliefs and stuff, but this is something that we can bond over, and this is something that we can connect over, and I think that's just a really nice thing, rather than just looking at more things to make differences of and split everyone up,
Yeah, and the separation between the content of music, because a lot of people, like, there's this slippery slope where, like, music for centuries, well, for decades at least, has been political, it has been divisive, it has been about topics, like, there's only so much "you love me, yeah, yeah, yeah" that you can do with your music. Sometimes you got to write about something that you care about and that you mean something. But at the same time, if you're in the mosh pit of a Rage Against the Machine show, there's people in there that are like, don't you love what these guys stand for? And then there's someone next to you, don't you love this riff? I don't give a crap about what they stand for. So I think everyone can come together together and just go, "This rocks," and some people may care and some people may not. And I think that's the difference there. Is if you, as Clay said, and as you said, Quincy, if you're standing watching a show, you don't care about what the other people are doing. If it's good music, if it's quality music. Now, if you're preaching hate, is that okay? Well, no. And for me, that runs a show where I play music, that's the really hard part. I like to say that because people say, "Oh, but you play political and you play religious songs," and I'll say, yeah, I'll say if someone says, "I believe in this cause, I think we don't do enough for homelessness, and I wrote a song about it," or "I think that God is great and I wrote a song about it," cool. If I say all X people should be removed, or if I write something, anyone that believes in God is an absolute freak, then that's the difference. So that's the thing. I think if it's a positive vibe, there's a very big difference between preaching hate and actually just saying, "Hey, I like a thing," and then other people could be like, "Cool song. I'm glad you like a thing. Let's just listen to music."
Right. Exactly.
I don't think I've ever went to a concert and seen my favorite band and said, "Oh my God, I'm walking out of here. I can't believe who I think they're sleeping with." You know,
Well,
what does that have to do with why I'm there?
so I'll just throw this out there. I'm not the most liked streamer in the community. You know, I've had issues with other people, but to me, the important part for me, above and beyond all of that, is the job that I'm trying to do for the indie artists that I'm sharing. My whole purpose for even this whole channel is to get the eyes onto them. And even when I do the block parties, I try and pull everybody, into my chat, and I'm telling everybody, "Hey, go over to these guys' chat. Go over there. Make sure you guys are going over there. You guys are already part of the family here. Go over there." And so doing that, bringing in a lot of new people, we really need the chat to help us on some of that, because we're going to miss a whole bunch of stuff that you guys may see that we may not. So and so, hey, I saw so and so, saying this to an artist in this chat, but he is also over in this chat saying it. That's the type of stuff we need to know about, because us as content creators, we don't always get to go to as many shows as you guys get to. You guys may get to go see all of our shows where we don't get to do that. So it's really, you guys are an important part of letting us know who's being toxic, who's being trolls, so we can take the next step, rather that be probationary period for the people or just flat out banning them from all.
That's a really good point, Clay.
And making sure that the other content creators know about, hey, this person is in my chat. We banned him because he's doing this repeatedly. And then that way, if he shows up in, say, Pete John's chat, then the moderators know, hey, keep an eye out on him. If he crosses a line, he's out.
Yeah, it's a really good point, and I think for what you and Chad were saying before about everyone wants to grow, right? Everyone wants to see that number increase, and we want more people in the community. And hey, it feels good when you look at a subscriber or a follow account and there's an extra 1 or an extra 0 on it. But remembering that those are just the vanity metrics, those aren't actually the community. And I would much rather, I've always said to people, I would rather have 1,000 subscribers of passionate, cool people that are a great community to hang out with than 1 million subscribers that are made up of 30% trolls and toxic people. So you can be selective. And the cool thing about the fact that we have this magic thing called the internet that allows me to sit here in Adelaide, South Australia and chat to 4 very cool people with a bunch of people watching on means that you get to be with people that you wouldn't normally be able to, or 10 years ago you just simply couldn't. But it also comes with the drawback of anyone being able to dive in and anyone being able to kind of jump into your community and try and be part of it. But I think being selective about that sort of thing is okay. And I always say, jokingly, but half jokingly, so this might come across trolly, but my channel is it's not a democracy, it's a petocracy. And if you don't like that, then you probably don't need to hang out there. And obviously that's kind of tongue-in-cheek, because I do think that everyone has the right to be there, as long as you're a nice person, and as long as you're there for the music and you're there to be a cool person and part of the community. So, yeah, I think it's really important that you folks, that the community, that the people in the chat, that the people that are part of it really do feel like you're part of it. And I think from what I've seen of all your channels, and the reason I wanted to come on here when Chad invited me today was to chat about this important topic, but also just because it's really cool people to hang out with.
I had a couple thoughts. I wanted to share, and I don't actually know if this is going to be helpful or not. When I was kind of, anticipating what we were going to be discussing, this has been a really interesting conversation because it does seem to be more so about toxicity and trolls within a community. Really, probably the most experience I've had with that has been, just from comments specifically to me. I'll post a video and seeing what somebody has said, and from time to time, thankfully most comments are very nice and stuff, but from time to time you get someone who commented something with ill intent, and so I don't know if this is helpful, but I thought I might just share kind of something that I think has helped me in terms of how to deal with receiving something like that, and maybe this can be helpful in the sense of a community too, and just how to respond to that kind of thing. And the first thing I've always kind of noticed, I think it's really tempting to just want to reply and just want to just get back at that person, prove them wrong and all that stuff. But what I always realize is I think usually when people comment that stuff, what they want is a reaction. And so I think honestly, the best thing you can do is not give them that, just ignore them. Like, don't even acknowledge what they've said, because even just acknowledging it, even acknowledging it with just a witty retort is still giving them attention to what they've said. And so by just not giving them attention, it's just like you're not giving them any power in their statement, what they've said. Now, as far as how you personally respond to that, like how you can ignore it, but then, how do you feel about that? That's kind of going to that's going to be to every personal individual and stuff. But I think what's really important is just understanding the truth about yourself, because I've actually had people say insulting things to me before that have made me laugh because it was just so ridiculous. It didn't offend me because it wasn't true, and I had that confidence in myself. And I do think there's, I think unfortunately people like that, they're always looking for something that they think they can hurt you with, and I think if it does hurt, then it probably hurts because there's some kind of little bit of truth in there, and so I think, again, this is kind of for each personal person, but I think the best thing you can do to defend against that is just try to better yourself, try to become the best version of yourself you can be someone that you can be proud of and not ashamed of, so that when those attacks come, you don't have to believe them. They can say them, but it's just like, well, I disagree. Someone says that about you and you don't have to believe it, but I know that's not easy, but I think that's something.
Well, I found engaging them it can be really bad. My response to any troll comments on my page used to be like, hey, well, like and subscribe. And I thought that was funny because I'd heard so many people say in the community, hey, I'll take my haters, I'll take my likers. But then I realized when I was saying hit like and subscribe that I was assured a new comment. Mm-hmm. And then when I started just deleting the comment immediately, no matter how bad I wanted to respond with some pole vault witty response, it ended immediately. They're like, oh, okay, this dude didn't take the bait. Go throw a line somewhere else. And I think the best, and this is not for chat, but this may be for comments on your page. I just found, just delete them. I try not to let them get up under my skin because, like I said, I am that guy that wants to be like, oh, yeah, your mom is so blah, 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 but instead delete them and it goes away almost instantly.
Yeah, that's it's taken me a long time to have that level of maturity, because I was the same. My favorite comment was when someone said something nasty. I'd be like, hey, you sound really cool. We should totally hang out sometime. And then I realized that my community were watching the way that I responded to those comments, and it said a lot about me. And again, the same thing. The person would come back and respond, "Oh yeah, well exactly that."
Yeah.
So yeah, I realized very quickly that the best thing to do is to just say, "Nope, see ya. I'm not going to engage with that." As tempting as it is, because it's always, especially when it's someone having to go at you and your music, that can get pretty personal. That can cut close to the bone. So yeah, it's a tough thing to do, though. I have to love and leave you folks and this community because unfortunately I've got a prior commitment. But I just wanted to thank you all. Thanks to Clay and Chad and Pole Vault and Quincy for having me here, and thanks to this amazing community for all being here. And I'll try and jump in the chat and join you there and listen to the rest of the show. But I appreciate everyone for your commitment to amazing music communities.
Thank you, Pete.
Well, definitely
Peter, it was nice
thank you
meeting
for
you.
coming by, Pete.
And just so you guys know, if one of you guys want to hop down into my description, I have all the links down there. You guys can post them links as much as you want. Post Pete John's link, Quincy's link, and Pole Vault's link, and even Chad's link if you guys could.
Yeah, so someone had said they had a question or questions. Go ahead and type your questions in the chat, and we can definitely get to it.
Bonnie's got one. What do you do when a disruptor comes up on panel? So that's another thing. The great thing about that, Bonnie, is if you have a disruptor that comes up on panel, you have the choice to kick them out. Right now, a lot of you guys in the music community, you really do have it comfortable here, and I'll tell you why. Between all the communities, I'm talking about hippies, Jade Star, L'Oreality, Pete Johns, Thomas Christ, all of us together. As a whole, we have very little trolling. We do have it, but there's very little. Now, I go to many other communities in the YouTube world, and trust me, it is not like the world we live in, not even close. I go to communities, their channels' names are like The Shit Show or The Drama Dome. Or if you go into true crime communities, the infighting there is intense and it's insane. So fortunately, we don't see a lot of that here. And the good thing about having these community roundtables is we can start these discussions before they happen. So we already have a plan in place so we can execute them and not, have somebody hopping from chat to chat causing issues everywhere.
Well, it comes down to statistics, I used to think when I'd run these large events with like 10,000 people, they'd say, like 1 in 10,000 people are like a serial killer. And I'd be like, oh, wow. And I mean, when you just get the higher numbers, the odds of getting toxic behavior become greater just because you have greater numbers. But like I said, we're also coming into a political season, and you might want to brace for that. But like I said, I always want to grow and grow and grow the community, and just I can't say it enough times to make everyone feel welcome. When you feel welcome, I've seen communities where people came into the community for the chat. I actually am a part of a community where people get along so well, and it's such a family kind of feel where everyone likes everybody gets along, that the chat almost drives the channel. I mean, Clay's chat's pretty cool on Friday nights.
Yeah, Friday it gets intense. You guys in chat are chatting like 4,000 messages in a 6-hour period, and it gets intense sometimes. And there is a handful of times I thought about throwing on the slow
Yep.
whatever that is, but I haven't done it yet. Like
'cause
tonight, there's
people come in
71
with
people
stuff like
watching
peanut
right
butter
now.
jelly and bowls and stuff, and just mix up everything.
There is 71 people watching, so welcome in everybody. I see a bunch of new people came in too. PDF Elves, good to see you. Tremor Bear, Roque Avaloneda, good to see you, Roque. Princess OPD, Billy the Kid Norwood, Miss Luck, Shimmer Soul, good to see you, Shimmer. If there's anybody, Lefty Lucy, that's down in the chat that would like to come up on panel and discuss Trolls and Toxicity, I will put my email down there. You can email me. I will email you a link. Because we're not just going to have anybody come up here.
Right.
Billy wants to come up. How much you had to drink, Billy? If you answer
Well,
if you can answer that question, bro, I
and
might
and
let you up.
and that's actually a good point because it's like Friday night. It seems that there are potentially some people that are drinking, and as the night goes on, get to a point to where they're maybe saying things that they shouldn't, and that's something that we're definitely looking at. Just so that you might be out there in chat right now, you might not, but we are definitely looking at people that operate in that way, and I'm not naming any names.
I
But
told you I was sorry, Chad.
Yeah, we're not here to point fingers. We could do that all day long.
yeah,
We as humans, everybody has issues. We could point fingers all day long. That's not what we're here to do. We're not here to point fingers at each other. We're here to point fingers at the bad apples when we see them and when they come into communities. Especially Independent Men United has an amazing community over there. And I don't know if she deals with trolls or much toxicity over there, because anytime I've ever been over there, it's just been a great show. There's never any, I never really see any conflict over there.
I'm with you, Tremor Bear. I'd fall asleep if I drink.
It's been neat, in my own personal music. I've got a very small community, but it is growing, and there's something really nice about seeing. Like, I'll perform a song, and obviously I can't see what's going on in the chat while I'm performing the song, but I'll come back and seeing that I've got returning viewers that are starting to know each other, and they'll kind of chat amongst each other. I think there's something really, just really nice about that, and I think that's the nice thing about community is like, wow, everyone might have come to check out my music, but now they're staying for the
Mm-hmm.
community. They're starting to get to know each other, and I think that's such a really cool thing. And I think along with that, I think as a community, I think we can. I think we can defend each other. I think when it comes to handling trolls or toxic behavior, if they're attacking somebody, I think what we do is we uplift that person that was attacked. We defend them. We say that's not true. This person's great. And just get their back. And I think, in a sense, I think the one advantage the community can have is that you can outnumber. Now, it is interesting how, like, for whatever reason, you can get like, 100 like good compliments, and then you get that one insult, and that's the one that kind of sticks out. So it is, for whatever reason, yet the negative comments do carry more weight. But I do think there's something to say about being able to counter that with being able to outnumber it with the community, with the good people in the community.
All right. Yeah, that's fine.
So
Well,
the
that's
other
where
thing, I just wanted to bring up though, we've talking about trolls toxicity, but with this roundtable, just in general, what we would like to do with this is, this bringing community together. Anybody that wants to participate in the chat or on the show, especially content creators, especially streamers, but not limited to them. I mean, people of the chat, they're welcome to come up and discuss as well. But we also want to move forward with positive things like coordinating events amongst creators' channels, doing various, just in general with that. So last month, I did my show, Ham Celebrates Women Artists. We also did the Women's Block Party. Well, we do a month like that where we're celebrating women artists, we could spread that out not just with what I'm doing and what Clay's doing, but amongst every other little community that is also sharing content. Uh, Axe was also a part of that. Axe had a women's show that he was doing every Monday during that month. And something like Halloween in October, we could all kind of take part of some sort of Halloween type celebration on our channels, which of course I'm doing a show, and then we're doing a multi-stream with the costumes and such. So just that's little things like that, mental health awareness. We can unite and do these really cool things, and we can uh, do things when something comes up and we need to do a benefit for somebody or something, or if we need to raise funds in some way. There's just lots of cool things that we could be doing coming together as a community. And Something somebody had mentioned was potentially like a t-shirt, a community t-shirt with somehow different logos, different names and things like that on it, and then we take the funds from that t-shirt and actually donate that to charity. There's just a lot of really cool things that we can be doing if we're working together as a group. So, and
Hey
also
guys,
what I want to say with
I might have to bail out of here. My brother is going to bed soon. So.
okay, gotcha.
But
No problem.
You hit on something there, Chad, and I'm always down for this. Like charity events to bring the community together, where the proceeds may go to the said charity. Like and the musicians, like Russ did this deal where he did the musicians, all donate music to go to an album, which I really thought was a great idea. Or of course, I'm just thinking off the cuff here, some kind of like show where we did like a virtual concert or something where the proceeds went to the charity.
Right, like basically donations through the evening,
right,
and they go to exactly that's the sort of thing that we want to definitely discuss with this and come up with ideas and events and things. So yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, I think just a better open form of communication between channels would be a good thing.
Yeah, but between the chat and us, and between all the different channels, just really wanting to embrace the communication and let everybody know, hey, we're wanting to do this. We want to be available for any sort of feedback, also for any sort of ideas, like this, you were talking about the charity album. That's something that if we all got on board and knew a little bit more about, we could have a bigger impact. Song Timber is another thing. I'm new to streaming this year. There's a lot of things that have been going on for years that I don't know anything about, but I think that's part of the thing here with doing this, is just saying, hey, let's all get together and let's all work together.
Exactly.
Yeah, because the other thing with that is that we don't want to be stuck in our own little echo chambers. We think everyone thinks this way, or everything does everything this way. Everybody knows what we're doing. We want to have it spread out and actually, instead of assuming anything that everybody knows about this, and if they want to be a part of it, then they're going to be a part of it. But that's not the case. We definitely got to communicate.
What up, Billy?
Hey, Billy.
Hello,
Billy.
let me shut the fan down. It's gonna make noise.
How you doing, Billy? If you guys don't know, my friend Billy used to play in a Rush cover band. He was really good too, man. Whoops, wrong button.
There he goes. Nice to meet you.
I see ZX is talking about St. Jude in the description. Like I said, Um, I think who's not down for a charity event, you know?
Right. Oh,
Um,
Midnight is
always
here
good there.
as
There's
well.
Bandit.
hey, Bandit, good to see you, bro. Hey, I gotta say, Bandit, you fucking killed it. Karaoke,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Nice
I
job,
thought
yeah.
I thought the first two were kind of so. But in the last song, I like knew to the T because it's like my friend tribute song. Right? So,
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
yeah, it was a really fun night. Yeah, awesome stuff. I really want that to become like a main kind of channel thing. That'd be so fun.
Yeah, we had a good turnout. It was a lot of fun. I was actually surprised that we had so many people turn out. So, yeah, we'll definitely be doing more of them in the future.
Yeah.
So, Billy, what do you got to say about Trolls and Toxicity, bro?
Real quick before Billy shares his thoughts, first off, Billy, nice to meet you. Midnight, nice to meet you. But I do think I'm going to have to call it a night for myself. But hey, I enjoyed the conversation. I think this is a pretty cool idea, and yeah, I think there's a lot of things we can discuss and learn and grow from each other. And yeah, very cool. And so thanks for inviting me, Chad. Appreciate it. And Clay, Matt, hope y'all have a good night or evening, morning, afternoon, whatever time it is, wherever you are in the world. And yeah,
Hey,
I'll
when
see
you
y'all
streaming
around.
again? When you streaming again, Quincy?
So actually, yeah, well, I'll say this. So usually I stream on Thursdays, but my family's going to be going on vacation. We're leaving this Thursday. I'm planning to do kind of a like a bonus or backup stream, I guess, this Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So in a couple days from now, I'll stream this week, and then next week I'll be away on vacation, so no stream next week. And then after that, I'll be back to my normal schedule on Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So,
Question. One question, Quincy Kane. Who is your favorite band or musician of all time that you love the best or the most?
that's a hard question to answer.
Come on,
Man, well, I can list like a bunch of my favorites.
Top three at least.
Top three.
Just
Let's say we'll say Kill Switch Engage. Man, I don't know.
It's
It
not
kind
gonna
of
be
depends what mood
written
I'm
the
in.
It's not going to be
Um,
written in the Rosetta Stone. It's okay. Like you just off the top of your head, things that you. Can
All
think
right.
of
Well, for
probably.
tonight, it's going to be Kill Switch Engage, Silosis, and let's just throw like Ben Folds in there or something like that. You know.
Oh
so.
yeah, Ben
Nice,
Folds.
nice.
Yeah, nice.
I gotta listen
I'm
to it.
updating his Wikipedia right now to say that's his favorite band.
All right, Quincy. Thank you, my
Thanks
friend.
for coming by, Quincy.
My pleasure. Thanks for
Oh,
Oh,
inviting
by the
me.
way, I'll be subbing to you, bud.
Oh, appreciate that. Yeah, thank you, Billy. Yeah,
Quincy is awesome. He is.
Yeah, I was ready, so.
thanks, guys. Yeah.
Cheers.
Y'all have a good night. Thanks for the invite, and enjoy the rest of the discussion.
All right, Quincy. Have a good night. Thank you.
The A's. How are they doing this season?
The Athletics. Not necessarily sure. I just wear it because it's my favorite letter.
There you go. There you go.
I'm just kidding.
So-
I like baseball, but I just saw it and I thought it was like I know it's Oakland Athletics. Their team didn't their team have to like move out of Oakland or something like that?
Well, they're going to be moving to Las Vegas. They're going to be
Okay.
moving to Las Vegas. Midnight. Do you have your? So when you join the StreamYard, you got to mute the YouTube. So you're watching Clay on YouTube, right? You got to mute that YouTube stream because you're on a
I don't
separate
hear-
stream now.
I don't hear an echo.
Yeah,
Who's
no,
streaming?
no.
I hear an echo.
I
I hear
have
it.
it
That's
on.
you. That's you then.
No, it's not me because I've already muted mine. It's not me. I promise
hear no
you.
echo.
So
I'm just
so
on
Billy.
Steam.
So
Now I don't hear it anymore. Now
Okay.
I don't hear it anymore. But I didn't touch anything, so I'm just.
I
Yeah, I was
just
always
hit
on
it.
Steam.
I just did echo cancellation on you and Midnight. I don't know who it was,
I,
but anyway,
I think we're good now. Yeah.
Billy, what did you have to add to the discussion on toxicity and trolls?
Well, I've been a troll before. I'm one of those good trolls. I'm one of the trolls that will put you in your place when you need to be put. And then I'm also one of them trolls that will build you up too. But no, honestly, trolls, you know, look, I have a channel and I deal with trolls. When I go live, I'll be going live. Clay knows I go live. He's been over at my channel. And I deal with trolls. I deal with a lot of them. And they are looking, a lot of trolls, and I'm not that kind of troll, but some of them, they're looking to take your channel down.
Yeah.
And I'm not one of those. I'm a good troll. I believe I'm a good troll. I'm not one of those people that are out to harm any channel, you know. But with Clay, I'm not a troll on his channel because I love him. I love the fact that he's a guitarist like I am, and he's a musician, and he supports musicians. And so, you know,
I'm married, Billy.
I know, but I don't troll Clay's channel, even though, you know, I'll put up some Rush lyrics, and I will, and I'll put up some lyrics of some bands, but I will always put, you know, who wrote that lyric. You know, it wasn't me. I'll put that lyric, you know, who wrote it. I don't think that's trolling. I think it's just sort of adding to the ambiance of the stream. Those fun facts. I love to call them fun facts, you know. But man, you know, I love the freedom we have. You know, even though YouTube is so stifling, we still have a lot of freedom on this platform. What's coming in the next 3 weeks or 4 weeks, I'm not so sure what's going to happen. And you know, am I scared? Not really, you know, because, you know, I'm 52 years old and a half, man. I mean, I've already lived my life, but, you know, we'll see what happens, guys. I hope the baseball and the football can continue. I hope the stock market continues because I'm making buku money in the stock market. You know, I finally figured out the secret of trading, and man, it's wonderful. Once you figure out the secret, dude, it's just awesome. I mean, I'm just saying, sometimes I lose some sleep over it, but you know, I mean, that's just a little price you got to pay. But you know, music, man, I swear to God. I mean, I started listening to music. I guess, you know, we all start listening to music. I started listening to music when I was a young kid. And I can remember listening to Domarigato Misto Robato. I'm thinking in fifth grade. Fifth grade, I was listening.
We're getting off topic here, Billy. It's not about music tonight.
Oh yeah, the topic was the trolls and all that sort of thing. Well,
you're not trolling us, are you, Billy?
That'd be epic.
Billy comes from a different community, and it's a community that I'm familiar with, and I'm telling you guys, it's just different than the community that we're used to. You know, we're used to people, for the most part, building each other up in this community. Not every community is like that, and there's some horrible communities out there.
All right, so Midnight Bandit, you came up here. Anything to add to the discussion that we've been having about toxicity and trolls?
Well, obviously chat was going by, like, you know, pretty quick. Oh, is one way up, but I wrote a comment in, I don't know where, in the chat, and it said something along the lines of that sometimes unfortunately, I think we have a little bit of favoritism, you know, with certain people. I don't know who. I can't even think of any specific people off the top of my head.
Well, we're not. It's not a name calling session.
No. Of course,
as long as it's not Elvis you're talking about. Don't talk about Elvis like
no,
that.
I don't. I want this. This comment is just in general.
Not talking about pole vault.
I think that we should just have a blanket, like, just don't be disrespectful. Yeah, maybe I'm out of line for saying that. I don't know, but
no, I agree with you.
You're right about favoritism too. You know, you might have somebody that's a loyal supporter of yours, but he's going to go to the competition and start trouble over there and troll over there in your name. and you may not even know about it, because that's happened to
Right.
me before, where someone has taken my good name and went and said, "Hey, he's part of this thing that we're doing," and I never knew anything about it. So it definitely happens,
I know something about that.
right? Being part of something you never knew you were a part of.
Yeah, that goes back to what I was talking about of basically kindness and acceptance versus basically enabling and you know uh, in a way co-signing behavior. At least that's
Yeah.
what the person that is doing it, and then that's the perception from the people seeing it as well.
Well,
So
when you do have people in the group for a lot longer, it's easier to be a lot more like, like, yeah, they might be having a rough day, and I think this was talked about before, but, stuff like that, where you're, or Clay, you say it's repeated behavior, right? That really sticks out like a sore thumb. But I just think that I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying, man. I've only been here for a little bit. I mean, I just wanted to kind of come up here and kind of maybe add some comments to the general thing, but I don't necessarily have the most perfect way of addressing the troll situation. I've only started streaming, so
Well,
it's kind of one of those things.
honestly don't think there is a perfect way
right,
to
Yeah.
handle it. That's why we all need discussions
right.
to get to a better position, to where we can maybe, lay some ground rules, or keep it on a level playing field for everybody.
Oh, here's one thing. What about people like me who, I mean, I have good intentions, but sometimes I can come across as being a bit obnoxious or saying something that I didn't intend to kind of stir.
And
I guess
again,
that might be like, you might be able to see that. Sorry, Chad.
yeah, and that's kind of goes with the intent, and like with somebody like you who has been around, and we do know what kind of person you are and what you're made of. We as and me, Clay, and other people that actually know you can see what that is, and can see that, because I've been in that same situation where sometimes in chats I will say stupid things, and I know there's several people that will do this, and sometimes it can kind of get you in trouble. I've tried to once I actually started streaming to really bring that back in and not do that as much. But I think intent is important, and again, that comes back to the whole toxicity thing. Is Midnight Bandit a toxic person that is always doing that, or is Midnight Bandit trying to be funny, or is Midnight Bandit having a bad day? It goes back to that. So you're not on the chopping block is what I'm trying to say here.
Well, I know I
But
name dropped Chad one time at a club, and they kicked me out. So
well, you've been in the community long enough, Bandit, to where we know you enough to where we know, okay, Bandit's not having a good day. We know that, and we know that with a lot of the people that we see on a weekly basis in all these chats. We're like, oh, hey, I've never met, Kinger's music, but I can tell in chat if he's having a bad day, probably by what he's saying in chat, because it's just not normal,
But
like,
yeah,
when I
shout
see
out to
Kinger's
Kinger.
music in chat, he's always, hey, everybody, having a good day. I'm at work. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Now if he came in and said something, derogatory, we'd be like, wait a minute, that's not Kinger.
Right.
But
His account's been hacked.
right. Because we just know him from being in the community, and that's a great thing about the longer you're in the community, the more bonds that you're going to make.
And that right there, yeah, total big difference between a joke not landing and actually wanting to hurt somebody, intending to hurt somebody. Yeah.
Since it is text, how transparent can it be? Like, I know people say this all the time with text. It kind of like it blurs the line in between what people can perceive as sarcastic and what people. But then again, I mean, Clay just answers all the questions. I mean, it's just easily answered with all of the repetition, right? I mean, if someone does it over and over and over, especially if they're addressed, then yeah. Now,
what I was going to say though, real quick on that, is, again, this kind of goes back to the odd humor and maybe perception. So let's just say new person in chat, they don't know Midnight Bandit, and Midnight Bandit says something, doesn't land, they take offense. Now, if they contacted me, that's the big thing, communication. Because I do want people to contact me if there's an issue with anybody in chat. And I've kind of already on that anyhow with contacting people when I see something that is said, but definitely going to be things that are missed. But with that, you may get put in timeout. It doesn't mean that you're banned forever. It doesn't mean that you're a bad guy. But I think that is something that I, in moving forward, will be using, and I think it does work, to put people in timeout when there is something, even if it's not intended to be, something bad. Even if it is.
I'll put an example up here real quick. I know this person really well. I've known this person for, I don't know, probably a year. I don't know her personally, but I have been in their live streams. But some people may take offense to this. Some people did take offense to something that she had said earlier. I know Princess. I've known Princess a long time. This is something I would expect from Princess. This is not abnormal for Princess. This is something normal. So that's why I don't get offended when Princess comes in and says, "Hey, hit the like button," or or please don't masturbate because it'll kill a kitten every time you masturbate, or something to that effect. That's just Princess. If she didn't do that, then I'd be like, oh, wait a minute, Princess, something's off on Princess today,
Yeah. but Clay, when I hear that from this person, I'm thinking, God dang it. I mean, like, I've got 9 cats. I mean, so when I do that, am I like if one of my cats gonna like get off there, it just breaks my heart, man. I don't like when they associate it with animals. Well, in my opinion, I don't like it. But it's your channel, dude. You can do what you want, man. But I don't like it, in my opinion.
Well, some people, humor is different for everybody. Now, if it was a personal attack, it would be something different. I wouldn't stand for that. But I know Princess OPD, and she doesn't attack people, so I don't worry about that.
I don't understand the joke, though. To me, that's not a joke, dude. That's just.
That's because you masturbate a lot.
It's an old meme. Like,
well, I don't have a lady, so what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
It's like the whole.
You're gonna be celibate or what? Go ahead. What about Jesus?
Oh no, it's just like it's the whole meme. It used to be an old meme on like. I've seen it before. The whole kitten thing. It's not specifically about that. It's more about just being ridiculous and edgy, but. I mean,
I'm sure it's a joke, but it's like she keeps repeating it over and over and over. I mean, it's like
she is trolling because people
definitely trolling.
Getting in your head, Billy, makes you feel guilty.
Well, it makes me think like I gotta quit masturbating because I don't want my cats to die. It's like, damn.
I'll just,
I'm just like, damn, dude. They're all getting old too. They're all
anyway. Enough about masturbating and kittens. There is definitely something that we can do to build a stronger community, and it's just something as simple as communication. If I see somebody that's constantly harassing people in my chat, and then I see him over in say Midnight Bandit's chat, well, I should probably reach out to Midnight Bandit and say, hey, just so you know, this guy was being homophobic in my chat or being, racist in my chat, you may want to keep an eye out on him.
Well, sometimes the good thing about people like that is that they don't see it as being something they should hide for the most part. So, like, given any opportunity, they're going to just spam that with everyone, right? Any chance they can. So it calls itself out pretty quickly. But I do appreciate the communication. I've been kind of lazy to get on my own streaming. But I'm sure if I actually get any kind of numbers on my streams, which I don't even know what I'm going to do yet, I think I might be making beats. Regardless, I like your way of making everyone a modder once they've been vetted. but I don't know. I think I'd want to have
Well,
like.
I do have moderating moderators too.
Oh,
So
okay.
I have 4 or 5 moderating moderators. So if somebody blue gets out of line, then I have a moderator that can actually time them out. So
Yeah.
so it's basically my channel is basically like anybody else's channel with absolutely 0 mods.
Hmm.
I got
And-
I got a
So
Go ahead.
quick question. I wanted to address. Somebody's saying that there's a porn bomber that's on the panel. Who is the porn bomber?
Billy the Kid Norwood has been known to porn bomb.
Never
people before.
porn bombed anybody in my whole life. I swear to God,
Well,
never did.
who
Never
said
did it.
that? Who said that?
The shit show. Oh, hold on.
Oh,
The shit
elves,
show. The shit show. Okay, it is a shit show. You know, and they got what they asked for, man. I'm just saying. You know,
Well,
and
I
they did me wrong. They really did me wrong, and I wasn't appreciative of it, and I basically mooned them. I mooned them, and I'm gonna put it out there now. I mooned them. Look, it was an isolated incident that is not like me at all. So, I'm just saying. I will be going live after Clay goes offline. I'll be going live. You guys can come and hang out with me, and I've got StreamYard, so I can have a panel up to 9 people or whatever. We'll do a panel, guys. Let's go. We'll watch some videos. We'll have fun. And
I do
listen
that
to
for
music.
work, Billy. I don't want to do that on my days off, bro.
Well, Clay, when you get offline, I'm sure you're going to bed, so you can go to work the next day. I get it.
Well, one of the
What up,
things I was
Doc?
saying is that goes 2 ways. We can also spread good news through communication. Like I've talked to Chad about the teenage cancer record that Russ is doing, and when it comes out, to be able to spread that through the community, so it it's a 2-way street. We can also spread good news. It doesn't
Yeah.
always have to be bad.
Right. Yeah, that's the most important thing is just getting lines of communication open to where,
Right.
yeah, if we do have bad situations, yes, we can communicate and say, hey, here's these bad situations. But more importantly, there's lines of good communication where, hey, I got this big thing coming up. We're doing this big September, song-a-thon party. Everybody knows about it in our community, but nobody outside of our community knows about it. So if we would have known about it ahead of time, or Chad even, he could have been posting that information on Facebook, and he probably could have got a lot more interaction that way. And I got to say that the artists that are coming over from Chad's Facebook group have freaking been amazing, man. Sid Carter West, Tabitha Raines, like the list goes on.
Mhm.
Scarlet Star, there's so many of them that are coming over from Facebook, man, and I'm just blessed to meet all of these guys.
Well, and that's the thing that, like Paul Vault was saying, I think that's the point. Is that because me and Clay, we're kind of working in tangent with things I'm doing with my show, things that he's doing with his show, and we could spread that further. So, like I was saying, instead of it being, I'm doing a women's show, and then we're doing the women's block party, that it's even bigger than that. So. And the same thing, like Paul was saying, with when the cancer album comes out, we can all be promoting that, all be on the same page
Right.
with it.
Yeah, we'll all have the same links or whatnot.
Yeah.
And and I'll put this out there. There's people in the community that hate me. And there's maybe people in the community that I don't like. But I don't my subscribers know I don't air my personal stuff very often. Every now and again, I do go off, and I tend to go off on a tangent. It doesn't happen very often. Most of the time, I bite my tongue. But even though I may have or may not have issues with other people in the community, you never hear me talk about it. You'll never hear me put them down. It's all about the artists that we are sharing together, because we really are sharing the artist. It's the same people. It's music that we're playing all over.
I'm
the place,
sitting
so.
right here, Clay.
And exactly what Brad's saying right here. All the channels to support and encourage each other, make room for each other, work together, and be a positive place to hang out.
By the way, Doc Danger's been here for a while. Say hi.
Dog
Hey, boys. How's everybody doing?
Hello, Doc.
rocking out.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought I would pop up because, yeah, I mean, the one thing that everybody has in common is that we're all promoters. We promote other people's music. We're not reviewers. We generally don't listen to people's music to review it, to say whether we like this or we don't like that. We're generally playing people's music because we are trying to promote them, and we want people to listen to them. And as far as the topic of whether a joke lands or not is one for me that is very close to my heart. Because besides being a musician, I'm also a comic, and when you're doing comedy, generally you're trying to push the envelope. You're trying to find the spot where you cross the line, but it's still funny. And a lot of times with comedy, it's like 50% of people will get it and they will laugh, and 50% of the people will be shocked or horrified. And that is kind of how comedy works when you're doing that kind of thing. But when I make jokes, it is never with the intent to ever hurt somebody or to insult somebody.
Yeah.
That has never been my intent behind things. But sometimes, something comes into your mind and you say it, and it bombs. You're going to bomb sometimes, and sometimes it offends people. And that's unfortunately one of the things that I do, and that has happened to me, where I have offended people, and people are like, "No, I can't with this guy." But it comes with doing that kind of thing. So
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I don't mean to
no,
interrupt.
go ahead.
I have ADHD, so if I have an idea, boom, it has to go. So I think part of it is just that we're all human, and if the intention is just to make someone laugh, I mean, obviously we're going to step on people's toes sometimes, but I think the number one thing is if you actually really do own up to the idea. Oh, I hurt someone, I guess. Well, and their reason is valid. I mean, admitting it sometimes can be even can raise you to the next level, right? And being like,
oh, absolutely,
yeah, and just knowing like, hey, I say stupid shit all the time. I'm not like I don't claim to be myself. This is just for me. I don't claim to be like a hyper intellectual or anything like that, or nothing close. So if I do come across the line, yeah, this is the one point I wanted to say. Sorry if I'm taking up a lot of time, but if the community knows throughout the stream that open communication with any of the actual streamers who are streaming or panel guests or anyone that they feel, if this is an open communication thing, and they know, I mean, it seems small, but like letting them know that you can contact me if there's any problems, and just putting that out there would be, I think, pretty good. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. That is,
I just want to say real quick, Billy the Kid. The reason you're not up here is that we're having a serious discussion. We're talking serious. You brought the whole thing down quite a bit, and knowing that you have mooned people on camera and other things, just right now is not the time. Okay, the Rabbit Hole Show normally, yes, but not a open panel round table discussion that is to be serious and talking about serious issues and trying to move forward with a community. So nothing against you. He was bad mouthing me, saying, he's mad at me, but no, not tonight.
I like how he's having fun, right? Time and place, I guess.
Yeah.
That's just mine.
Yeah, exactly. Just time and place. That's all.
Well, there you go. But it was interesting. You're talking about trolls, and he comes up here and is talking about how he has seriously trolled some people. So I don't know. Might have been interesting to go at him from that point of view and be like, oh, well, you are a troll, clearly. What is your motivation behind doing that? What makes you feel like you need to moon somebody on camera? Rather the lowest form of humor, to be honest with you. If you're gonna here's the thing about trolls. I appreciate a good troll. If you come in and you troll and you're not overly offended, you're not dropping the N-word, you're not doing if you were actually intellectually being a good troll, I could appreciate that. I really can. But if you come in and you're just being offensive and you're just saying stupid shit, then it's like, all right, you know what? You're trolling, but you're not even good at it. You're really not. You're just lashing out for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
Well, me and Doc have hang out in other communities, and I tell you,
Yeah.
it's different than this one. This
Very
one is
different.
very
Very.
respectful for the most part. We do have issues from time to time, but we don't deal with it
Yeah.
on a daily basis like other communities. That's for sure.
No,
But
other
that's why it's
communities.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why it's important to get ahead of it, get ahead of the curve, or so they would say. You know, just so we already have stuff in place when if and when it does happen. Because I'm not going to stop growing this community. I'm going to keep hitting every single new community from 420 communities, true crime communities. I will go to the bronies community and get some bronies
yeah.
over here to listen to our music if that's what it takes. And
Yeah.
I know some people are comfortable in their small community, but to me, it's more about the more eyes that I can get on them indie artists' music, you know, the better in my point of view.
Well, absolutely. Yeah. It's like when Conspiracy and I were working together. One of the things that we learned early on was that the audience that we were doing the show for was the same group of people that all of the other shows were doing too. And it was kind of like a big echo chamber of everybody listening to each other's videos. And which is why we started the whole roadshow concept by taking the shows into other communities, because music is universal no matter where you go. It doesn't matter what kind of community it is, what their politics are, what their beliefs are. Everybody loves good music no matter where you go. And we realized that early on. So that was why we started doing the road shows and going into 1A communities and anti-1A communities and just various different communities and bringing that music over there and hopefully getting new subscribers and new viewers. That way, we weren't projecting a show just to the same group of people that everybody else's shows were doing. And it's like try to grow the community, try to grow the audience. So yeah,
Well, you grew their audience also because I'm
Yeah.
a subscriber of their channels because
Sure.
of you guys.
Yeah, it's a whole
Well, see-
crossover thing. Yeah.
Well, see, and if some of these other channels actually realize the power of community and what people can do, they would be getting a lot more people than they do. But I'll be honest with you, it's hard to promote somebody's channel when they don't promote you back. So, you know,
Yeah,
I
we
could
had
go
an issue with that.
go promote somebody, you know, for week after week and after week, and then not even get a mention. You can tend to be a little salty. I've still never mentioned any names, and I don't plan on mentioning any names.
Yeah,
But
we're
that's
not going to
stuff
mention
like
names.
that
Yeah.
where communities can grow so much bigger and so much faster. Now, if that's not what they want to do, why are they on YouTube? Why do they have a channel? Is it just so they can sit with their 40 friends and collect the money and listen to the same recycled music over and over again? Or you want to go out and promote your friends and the people and the music you listen to so more people will subscribe and listen to them? And maybe one of them people might be one of the people that video slides across their desk and they say, hey, let's offer this guy a fucking contract.
Well, hey, Clay, let me offer this perspective. Obviously, this is a hot button topic because I know I've watched some of the stuff that you may or may not be referring to, and I understand where you're coming from. I think what is good is since YouTube is like a pure, open, like if you make good content and you make a lot of it and you network and you create a good community, you're going to probably find success. Now, there's a lot of people on YouTube, right? millions and millions of people on YouTube, and not everyone is gonna really click with the kind of nature of how to get better. And people are learning, but some people obviously repeat the same process, and then they feel entitled and think, why is this not growing? And they're not willing to change themselves. But I think even having this platform right here, this exact show where we get together and we talk about these things, this is progress, you know? Where you're going to look back at this community roundtable at like the 50th, right? Or something, hopefully, right?
Yeah.
And you're going to look at this and think like, wow, look at what this turned into from this to that. And it's just beautiful, I think.
Yeah, and we can look back and be like, wow, look how far the community has come along since that very first roundtable. Right?
Well, and
Yeah,
what I
this is
wanted
a smart
to say
idea.
about,
Yeah.
what
I
I
gotta
wanted to say
step
about
away
that.
just for a sec.
Okay, but what I wanted to say about that, and kind of piggybacks off of what Clay was talking about, is that I personally like to focus on the positive and don't want to look at the negative. And I think that's the negative will hold you back, make you bitter. And so if we do this roundtable and other creators don't want to be a part of it, so be it. That's their loss. It's not our loss. We will proceed with it. If we do something and we invite people to be a part of something, even if we're promoting them and they don't fully take advantage of it, or we perceive what they've done as something negative, we shouldn't focus on that. We should just look at what positive came of it and move forward with that. And so that's the way I want to look at everything. I think expectations of expecting something to happen, and then when it doesn't happen, that is where we kind of get focused on that negative. Instead, focus on what we're trying to do and what we've done, as opposed to what didn't happen. So,
and always.
And I think that's important.
Yeah, sorry. Always compare like what was the first episode like compared to like this episode, and what were the things we learned, the progression. Some people, I don't think they go back to their old videos and they kind of review them and kind of look at like, how did we handle this situation, or how did we handle that situation, and then one thing is for certain, though, human beings are programmed to look for negative information in any situation. It's like your amygdala. I think we were talking about this randomly off of one of the articles that we were doing on the Taylor Swift conspiracy thing, right? Negative bias is just our survival instinct, scanning our environment for things that we should be concerned with, right? Things that perhaps that we should kick our fight, flight, or freeze mode into the kind of act, right? So people are always hardwired to look for negative, and if you could do anything to be able to kind of force yourself to look at a situation with a positive light, I don't know. Sometimes it's really hard, stuck in the moment, but like, it's awesome, right?
It can be disheartening sometimes because drama and negativity sells, and all you have to do is look around YouTube to see that. And I used to be disheartened sometimes because I would look at shows that were just doing drama stuff and just yelling at people and being mad, and it was just the infighting between the communities, and they're getting thousands of views. And I would be doing a music show, where I'm playing really, really talented musical artists and doing really good songs and putting on a good show, and struggling, just struggling to get 100 views on it or something. And when all you have to do is actually talk about drama and negativity, and your channel can blow up. So it can be a little disheartening sometimes to see that, but yeah, people are hardwired for that. They do enjoy that for whatever reason.
It's like the same thing with the news. People watch the news all the time, and you don't see it's not like a constant good news cycle. It's always like, well, so and so country is thinking about
of course
using the death laser from the moon, and it's like,
yes.
So
well, your favorite troll has
Jewish
arrived.
space lasers, as Marjorie Taylor Greene would tell you.
Hey,
welcome aboard.
Hey, Dad.
Your favorite troll is here. How you guys doing?
Yeah.
There he is.
Hey, bro,
Where the hell's Ray at?
I gotta tell you, you killed that
The
Rammstein.
Rammstein.
Rammstein
Yeah,
yeah,
song.
thank you.
Holy shit,
Thank
bro.
you.
that was really good. Yeah, Conspiracy
I-
played that for me backstage after my show last night, and that was really, really good, bro.
You like
gotta-
how dramatic it was?
if you don't clip that and turn that into a video, that was a ready-made video right there.
I gotta
Right?
do it perfect before I do
No,
that. But
you-
you're free to clip it yourself if you want to.
You did it looked like the same like framing and lighting as like Bohemian Rhapsody, where they have like the two guys on the one on top.
Exactly.
Good
Yes.
lighting.
Yeah.
Dramatic.
That's awesome.
It was really
Yeah.
cool.
I'm working on my creepy. I hope it's working.
That was really, really good, bro.
Thank you. Thank you. You're not trolling me, are you? This isn't part of the.
No, it's
Okay,
awesome.
okay.
It's dramatic. It's not creepy.
It's meant to be. Like I wanna. I don't think I can sing it properly because that's a really hard song to sing. But hopefully I make up for it with like attitude.
No, I don't know German, so what you were saying.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
I don't know.
You just put your oomph into it, right? So
Exactly.
So avoid.
I know I'm late as fuck, but anyway.
No. Well, what do you have to add to the discussion here?
Did you guys already talk about the difference between a hater and a troll?
No.
Because I don't think they're the same thing.
Okay.
yeah.
And then there's two kinds of haters too. Like a troll is somebody who's like fucking with you, somebody who's intentionally trying to like piss you off or elicit like a certain emotion. But a hater is a little bit different. You have the people who are just they're hateful themselves, so they just find hate everywhere. They want to push their hate on everybody else. And then there's people who criticize you. It might look like hate, but it actually isn't. And I usually think that like my haters are actually my best friends, because the real ones, because they actually tell me the truth. Now, like you guys were saying, like you guys appreciated that cover that I did, and I thank you. I really appreciate that. But when I get a compliment, it makes me feel good, maybe 10%, and then that's it. But when somebody says, yeah, you could have done this better, or you didn't sing it that well, or the lighting looks stupid, now I'm like, oh shit, now I'm motivated to get better. Because I don't think that person's lying to me. I think that person is telling me, I don't think they're trying to help me either. But I can take that for myself and like make
And
myself
use it.
better. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
Well, you know what,
need.
Deb,
I need that.
think I think you're a jerk, and I think that.
Well, thank you. I think you
that
look like a
mu-
jerk.
That music video, I found that to be a little pitchy dog.
There you
and,
go.
I think you really, really need to work on that. So.
I was trying
there
to
you
sing like you. That's why I sounded that way.
Oh, there you go.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, and that too, like that right there, that to me is like a good troll. Like you're playing with me, and I love that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
That's a fun troll. That's what I love about Ray. Like I love picking on Ray because he does the same thing back to me. You know.
Yeah.
Like,
you know,
I
that
don't
could
consider
be
him a
fun,
troll.
yeah.
I consider him annoying. I'm sorry.
Well- Oh, you go ahead, Doc.
No, I got nothing. Go ahead.
Okay. I look at it as at even a slightly different form, right? I think trolling is an art form. I think you can troll for the good of humanity, especially if you look at someone like an objectively evil group or person. If you troll them, that's comedy. It's comedy genius. What?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how you feel about this person, but Sacha Baron Cohen, he did the Borat or whatever. I don't know
Yeah.
how you feel about that.
Borat,
But the point is that he went to certain places that were saying like say anti-Semitic things, and he trolled
Yeah.
them. And you know that's a troll in my mind. But a hater, that is just someone who is obsessively and compulsively putting people down so they can somehow raise themselves up. But usually, unless you've got a community that's filled with them, people are going to see that and they're going to be like, who's this guy, right? So.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was trying to make the distinction between like that's just somebody who hates, and then there's somebody who's actually trying to like criticize you, but like they're not necessarily hating, even though they might look like they're hating. Kind of like the whole troll.
Criticism and hate is definitely two different things.
Yeah, it's important to differentiate between the two of them, I think.
Yeah, and that's a good point. I mean, somebody could be trolling you. Well, it's different. So for a panel like us, I can troll any one of you guys, and you know that I'm just fucking with you,
Yeah.
But if some random dude that I didn't know came in and tried to troll you guys, then I might think, okay, who the fuck is this dude trolling my friends?
Exactly. Yeah.
And maybe it's somebody that you know. And be like, oh, that's just, like I said, oh, that's my friend Billy. He's cool.
Yeah.
That's the whole inside joke thing that sometimes. Yeah, and Billy,
Yeah.
I did block you. You can be unblocked, but right now, this is not the time. Okay.
Oh, we got a
Well,
troll in here.
well, also, I think the difference also is I think I may criticize a void where I wouldn't criticize maybe a 13-year-old kid that's just learning.
Good point. Yep.
Right.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Right.
Yeah, you don't want to discourage somebody now.
Yeah.
Or
Very good point.
specific things
Well,
like
I am
uh,
discouraging Billy. So just to
Well,
be
yes,
clear.
he needs discouraging a little bit there. Yes, sometimes it happens. Yeah,
Billy Norwood.
It's
Billy
my
the Kid
my mic
Norwood,
need
yeah.
trolling less. I'll turn it up a bit, bro.
Well, it's like I put out this video, Karen of the Dead, which is it's spoofing Night of the Living Dead, the original one, and the whole point of that is I'm trolling racism. That is what it is, and that's all. I don't know. That's all I got. It just popped into my head that's kind of what I was trying to do with that was just taking a topic and just kind of trolling racists
Were you
with
playing
their
like
own
a?
dummy beliefs.
Oh,
Right.
gotcha.
yeah, and we all have views, right? I mean, it's impossible not to stray away from the fact that we all have opinions. It's just that, context, time and place. We're all here,
Yeah.
number one, because I mean, as much as I adhere to my certain political beliefs or whatever, right? Whatever. We are here, right? Literally in this. That's my screen. The whole big screen. In order to do music, because music is the one thing that can bring us together potentially. That's not like motivated by something, just the joy of feeling emotion brought through song, and there's no place for kind of almost sometimes pathological negativity, because it's just not not our mode, right? So
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. There's also like sarcasm. Sarcasm does not translate well through text at all.
No, in the chat,
and
it's
that's-
it's tough. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
sarcasm is my second language. It really is.
Yeah. I don't like I don't know how to do so. I'm pretty good at sarcasm like face to face, but when I'm typing, it's always
Yeah.
sarcastic.
I never use sarcasm even in real life because
Oh yeah, it sucks.
I think there's better ways of making jokes. Yeah. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but like
Well, Blue Unicorn told me
Hey,
one time
Preston.
if you always read the comments in a funny British accent, you will never get offended.
oh, there you go. Exactly.
Yeah.
I can do that. Yeah.
Blue's pretty smart. He knows what he's talking about.
Preston, how you doing, man?
Hey, Preston.
Hey, Preston.
I'm good, thank you. How you doing?
Doing
Pretty
good.
good. Pretty good.
It's
I
good
made
to
it.
see you, my
Waking up,
friend. I
that's so
haven't
great.
seen you in a while.
So see, here we go. So some may take offense to this or think that Princess OPD is trolling. Princess OPD is not trolling. In fact, she is such an awesome supporter of my channel that I know that's Princess OPD. And if she didn't come in and say something like that, then I would know something was wrong. So definitely
absolutely.
context matters.
I can tell by her
Mhm.
avatar that's a troll, or she's being funny, or he.
Well, she
whatever.
comes in and she just promotes people's stuff. She goes from channel to channel,
Yeah.
pops into your chat and promotes you, tells people to hit the like button and to subscribe, and she does it in a funny way.
Yeah, that's cool.
Mhm.
So while she's trolling, she's also trying to help you promote whatever it is that you're doing as well.
Yeah.
And she was trolling Billy for the record.
Yeah, well,
You're not supposed to admit it. The troll.
he opened the door for that.
And I
When you moon on a channel, man, you're just giving it away. I say that for members only.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Come on,
you gotta
Chad.
don't.
Only
yeah.
fans.
Wait, hold on. This
Yeah.
kind of moon or the other kind of moon?
No,
No, that's a flash.
between
I'm sorry. I'm
the-
sorry.
Between like the spiritual, I mean, no.
Oh,
So
The other twins, not those twins. Okay.
ask Preston if Preston had anything he was wanting to add as far as the discussion with trolls.
Oh my, I don't know. We all know them, have them, or are one. Or were one. I
We're
graduated.
talking about trolls here, right? Not
I graduated. Oh yeah, I graduated from computer programming in 2000. So that was kind of like when it started, when social media things started,
Mhm.
like ICQ and all the little chat things. So it goes back to that, like way back,
Right.
even Telnet. You know, it's been
Yeah,
around
yeah.
forever.
Yeah, trolling is
Oh,
ancient.
Sometimes you
Thanks,
just
Robert.
gotta have
Don't-
thick
but-
skin, man.
Don't apologize, Robert. I appreciate every little bit of help we can get, man. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert.
Thanks, Rob.
Cool name.
But if you know that like Mozart, he wrote a song about farts, and if that's not like a troll, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I was not aware of that.
yeah. Oh, he
Yeah.
did. It's called like some. I think it's in German. It's like I don't know what it would be in German, but it's like
I went to Italy last year and I went to see the Colosseums.
Oh.
And there's graffiti all over the place. But there's graffiti that's been there for like thousands of years. And if
Yeah.
you look
Well,
around,
yeah.
like you'll see like a penis or something. Like trolls have existed forever. Like they've
Yeah,
always
back-
been around.
back
I
then
guess
it'd be like
it's
some like
kids will be kids
medieval stuff,
forever.
so it'd be all detailed and
Yeah.
wonky.
Yeah, exactly. Like two squares and like a rectangle.
Yeah, some guy going like
Yeah, exactly.
some weird.
Julius
You'll
Kaiser.
stop masturbating if you eat your cornflakes.
Yeah.
There you go.
I was trying to explain earlier that it's the whole kitten thing. Don't get hung up on the kitten thing. It's just a troll. It was a meme, like I don't know, 2010 maybe
Yeah.
before that. But then there's other ones like JC watches you, and then there's the
I think
the
that was the
ceiling
original
kitten,
one.
the ceiling cat. Remember ceiling cat? It's like the cat in the what is it? The ceiling, those types of ceilings in office buildings, right? And it's like staring through, right? It's just a meme. It's just a joke, but
Yeah, those are classic. Those are old ones.
Mozart did drugs, probably a little bit of huffing.
Mozart.
Well,
did
yeah.
drugs? I think Mozart. Yeah, probably.
Was it Vivaldi or Mozart? I think it was Mozart.
And Mozart
it
probably
was-
got drunk every day.
Yeah,
It was
He was a real
medicine
rock
back
star.
then.
yeah.
Snuff and
That
huffing.
labeled medicine back then.
Yeah.
And I'm with you there, Brad. Joke is funny once, maybe twice, but yeah, nonstop gets old.
There goes half my dad jokes.
Yeah, dad jokes are always funny.
So
Yeah.
when it comes to
Oh,
trolling,
yeah.
though, I guess context is
Yeah.
really key.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what a windmill's
yeah.
favorite type of music is?
Metal.
Oh, please tell us.
Yeah, I heard they're big metal fans.
There you go.
Oh, there you go. Love that. Gotta love a metal
So-
joke.
That's not a
Gotta love
joke. That's the
metal joke.
truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the truth.
So Billy,
Well,
Billy had a question if I was related to James Freeman. I am related to a James Freeman, but the
But not
James Freeman
the-
on YouTube is not really
Not
named
that one.
James Freeman.
Yeah.
I'm not related
Yes.
to him. That's not his real name. I am
Yeah.
related to
Sovereign.
James Freeman though.
Yeah,
Mine-
his real
James
name's
Freeman.
James Springer, not
Yeah.
James Freeman.
my middle name is Joe, and my last name is Walsh. So I could be like in the Eagles, no problem.
Nah, cool
I
name.
shouldn't say that.
Was that
That's the-
intentional?
Don't say it. Don Henley will show up in chat, bro.
I said
Yeah.
Seagull. I said Steven Seagull.
Anytime somebody
the
mentions
Seagull.
Eagles, fucking Don Henley always shows up in
Don
chat. It's
Henley,
like,
his
where's
ears
my
perk
money?
up. Yeah.
Motel,
for real.
Arizona.
Now there's a troll.
Ooh, that was running. That was close.
Don Henley, the ultimate troll.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he is the ultimate troll for real.
I have seen him pop up in chats. I have.
Yeah, I've seen Don Henley pop up a few times.
I think
Yes,
if
it
you
is
like,
funny.
I think if you fart the first couple of notes to hotel, we'll say Arizona. I mean, he'll be watching you before you like eat the beans.
He knows.
Yeah.
Don Henley knows.
That
But
is a
He just
that is
thinks about the
a
beans.
good question. I think there, Pete.
Yeah, that is a great question. Question for you guys: do you think people who never use their real name are more likely to be troll or toxic? And I don't know, to be honest.
No, that depends.
If
There's
they can
certain
wear a
reasons some
mask,
people
they'll be
don't.
more toxic.
No, man, I love you too. The Edge is awesome. He's not.
I noticed the older generation.
My mom
they
named me
don't.
Pole Vault.
Yeah, right. The older
Yeah,
generation don't put their real names out there.
What about like alt accounts, like people with tons of alt
Yeah.
accounts?
That's what they'll use typically.
Yeah,
we
that
lost
happens.
Chad. Well,
Professional trolls will because they don't want their real life affected by
Yeah,
it.
right.
A professional
Now-
troll will find a way.
now for me, using a fake name is okay, but now using a made-up name and hiding your face, now
Yeah.
that is definitely trolling for real.
Yeah.
You know, I don't use
Yeah,
my name. Now
Mr.
my real
Smith.
name, My real name is Clay, and I actually use my real name on Facebook. So my friends on Facebook actually know my real name. I mean, it's not hard to find.
Yeah.
I don't try to hide it. People know what I look like. They know I live in Utah. You know, so I don't try to hide any of that.
Not really, Peppy.
No, I
But
don't
now-
need it. My real name is out there as well. It's
Yeah.
so easy to find. It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. What?
And and Mr. Smith, we're talking
Aw.
to you,
That was
buddy.
mine.
We are talking to you with your fake name and your mask.
You don't come from a long line of dangers.
No. Ironically enough, yes. No, my
That
mom
would
did name me
be-
Doc. I mean, yes.
Doc Danger the first.
Yeah, that would be a series of unfortunate events. That's
Right.
a long
Yeah,
line of things.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
There's only ever one danger.
Now, somebody like Mr. Smith is different. We don't get to see his face. We don't get to see his name, but we know him, and we know that he's not a toxic or a troll person. You know.
My
And we
middle
do
name-
get to see him. He's not just an avatar, you know. He's not just an avatar. So that makes him a real person. I think.
Yeah,
in
and he's
the eyes of
awesome. He does
people.
streams too, right? I mean, who would do streams if they
Yeah.
were just trying to?
I mean, he's played on this show numerous times.
Well, if you watch, let me put my mask back for Mr. Smith. If you watch the Methadrine Hamsters, the Acrobats video, you actually get to see the back of Mr. Smith's head, uncovered, not masked, nothing. You can actually see his real back of his head. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
yes,
Now y'all got Don Henley here.
See,
I
I
knew he
told
was
you.
gonna. I knew
Hey,
he
what's
see.
going on?
I told
I saw
you.
it coming. I
As
did.
soon as someone mentions the Eagles, Don Henley shows
Here
up
we go.
every
Another
single time.
seagull.
Yeah.
There it is.
He's coming to
There he
see
is.
make sure he's coming to make sure Void ain't gonna do that Hotel California lead
If Ray is
See
here,
that
I'm
solo
gonna.
again. Yeah.
again.
So I do see Make Stupid People is backstage. I don't know if they'll actually add anything to the discussion.
Oh no, he's
or-
good. No, he can come up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's good. Yeah, he's cool. No.
Yeah. There you are.
Yeah, he-
Hey, what is
He
up?
has a beard I can trust.
What's up, guys?
How's it going, man?
Hey.
Saying goodbye to company, hanging out with the dogs. There's our newest one.
Nice.
No, he's got the attack dogs.
Shepherd.
So, do you have an opinion on trolls and toxicity? Making stupid people famous?
That's not a troll name at all.
All right, good night.
No.
We'll jam out.
I know him from the. I know him from the community. He's good. I just muted him. Tell his company
Yeah.
leaves.
Yeah, he's got a whole lot going on over there, boy.
Yeah, we'll wait till he gets
Yeah.
back to the house. No, he's cool. I know him
busy.
from another community.
Here too.
Yeah.
And that's
yeah.
what's a thing about having people from outside the music community come in, because they see a lot more than we do. And like I've told you guys before,
Yeah.
the indie music community is very polite compared to other communities out there.
Oh, gamer
yeah.
chat, man. Gamer communities is just a free for all.
Oh, it's horrible. Sometimes.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
But now we
Brutal.
get them. We still get trolls and we get toxicity in this community. But compared to other communities that I see and that I visit, definitely very minimal. But that's the whole thing. Well, that's the whole thing about opening up lines of communication with all of these streamers and content creators, is because I'm not going to stop building this community. I'm going to go out week after week to all of these new communities. I'm going to share my music. I'm going to play guitar. I'm going to share a couple of artists that I have in my back pocket. And then hopefully, a handful of them people will come back home with us. And then
Yeah.
you'll see them on your guys' streams.
I tell you,
But
we
with
do
them,
appreciate it.
but with that, we might have some trolls that come in, and that's why shows like this are important, so people can spot the bad behaviors, and we can nip it in the bud before
Yeah.
it becomes toxic.
Well, briefly, Conspiracy had somebody that was trolling him using my avatar pic,
Yeah.
trying to come in as me. And it wasn't me, because I don't even have sock accounts. I have one account. I got one Doc Danger. So wherever I go, whatever community it is, whatever chat it is, I'm there, because I'm not tech savvy. I don't even know how to set up a sock account, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a hater.
yeah.
That's obsession.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was right after me and Doc
Just
split.
unmute him.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
started coming over to my channel using his avatar and just talking
Yeah.
smack. And they did the same thing over, you know, to him too. That he would.
They were
get
doing it to
trolled
me
as well.
too. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, they were just trying to keep a rift going. They were trying to keep the drama going, and they were just they failed hard at it though.
Well, it's
Yeah.
like I said, we do
yeah.
appreciate what you guys do for us. I know Chad. I know I've been trying to bring people in, and Chad played one of the new artists that I hung out with for a year or two, trying to build them up to come in the community. His blood, remember that, Chad?
Mhm.
And I mean, and he was just so stoked. I remember the first time you and Doc played my first video on the stream. It and look at what
Thanks,
I'm
Robert.
doing now. I'm a total asshole.
Look what we created. Look what we created here.
Brother.
A monster. A monster.
There you go. I'm out of control. And
Yeah.
maybe they'll have a chance to do that too.
But yeah, and you know,
Uh-huh.
Doc is on a road show right now, so there's going to be, you know, new people coming in from these different communities. So it's important that you guys, especially all you OGs in chat, and that's what I call all you guys, and you all know who you are. We're all the people that hang out in all the streams. We see you guys everywhere.
Yeah,
It's
we're
important that you
everywhere.
guys
The
spot
Toxic
these
Bunch.
new troublemakers, because we may not spot them. And then that way, you
It's
know,
true.
we can flag them. And if I know, hey, so-and-so's being a troublemaker in my chat, I can let Chad know, hey, you know what, keep an eye out for this. And then when Chad's streaming, if he comes in, starts shit in Chad's chat, he already knows, all right, I got to keep an eye on this guy because he's doing
Yeah.
this shit over here.
Yeah, that is a good. That's
So
good.
maybe, you know, a community, and I don't want to
That's
get
right,
back to
PDO.
where we're to the cancel culture, but there probably should be some kind of community like blacklist, you know, to
I
where
think the cancel culture only comes in when it's like sometimes. I mean, it varies, but cancel culture usually comes
Yeah.
in when it's like a pretty serious issue, not
Well,
just someone being disrespectful or whatever.
Cancel culture is when you cancel someone's opinion. This is when you're here. We're not canceling people's opinion. We're canceling their
Yeah.
behavior.
Yeah, it's like saying
Exactly.
we canceled John
Exactly.
Wayne Gacy. You know,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Right.
it's and
How
you
rude.
know, but there's also a positive side to this. Like I said, and I hope in the next shows will cover it, is as well as, hey, we have a negative person over here. We can also band together and say, hey, we got a positive person over here. Like this new artist is really a great person. You might want to check them out.
Yeah, that was one of the things that Conspiracy and I found about doing the road shows, which was always great. We'd go into other communities and we would be doing the videos and stuff. And invariably we'd have somebody who would pop up in that community who had no idea that there was even a music community. And they would say, hey, I do music. I play this. I have videos, or I have a son that does stuff like that. And we would
Great
find new
example.
musicians.
Great example, Robin Cheyenne. Found her outside the
Cheyenne.
music community. It's
Emily
not a
Malloy.
boomer. Emily Malloy. It's not a boomer. Found him outside the music community.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
been a bunch of them, yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah,
had this
yeah.
one point that one question I wanted to ask. I think that as we grow, like I know that you guys, who's ever doing the roadshow stuff, if you're still doing it, are going to places that you also find that you're interested in, right? But I think it might be nice to kind of go. There's so many communities in YouTube, right? One thing I would suggest, if whenever you feel necessary or maybe have the inspiration to go towards this, is maybe more LGBTQ positive or focused, not positive. Like, I'm not trying to insinuate anything. I'm just saying, like,
No.
the general vibe of the channel is to talk about LGBT things, and then you know, I don't know. That's one thing maybe. And I joked. I said the knitting community, but you keep.
Hey,
it's all
I'd
the
put
same,
a
though.
show in a knitting community. Hell yeah, I'd put a show in I'd go to a knitting community, put on a show.
My grandma
My wife would like that.
Anyway,
She's
like,
part of
honestly.
knitting communities.
Hey,
Well, the
I
whole thing
put on
with
I put on a show where I wore a tinfoil hat.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
hey.
he did.
Gotta be
too.
careful. That acts as a reverse.
Well, the thing about doing the road shows,
Yeah, you put it on, right?
It's
the
often
Chinese
easier
part.
more.
it's easier to book a road show in communities that already know you.
Yeah.
But I approach all sorts of communities all the time that are communities that I don't even know. I generally, for a road show, I try to shoot for a larger audience than what I particularly have myself because I'm trying to reach a wider audience. But I will email lots and lots of channels, and I will send a link to one of the shows and say, this is what I do. We can come into your community if you're interested in this. We'll put on a good show. Everybody loves music, no matter what kind of stuff that you're doing on your channel. And if it's drama stuff, take a break for one night, hang out, play some music. So yeah, I will book a road show on any particular community. It really does not matter. So yeah,
Right.
as to what you were saying, Midnight, I would do that. I would go into any community.
Yeah. That's me and Doc had talked about this a lot, about going into these new communities, and I told him, you know what, I will go to a Back the Blue community, and then that
Sure.
very same night, I'll go to maybe an anarchist community and do a show there too. You
Yeah.
know?
Anarchists.
Because music is just universal that way. I mean,
It is
I don't bring
universal.
politics in, and you know what? I'll come. Maybe I might do a show at the shit show. I'll go up and play guitar at the shit show. You know, I'm not there to get involved in their drama and their politics. I'm there to, promote my show, let people know what I do. If they want to hear some really good music, stop by on a Friday night. And 150 out of 150 people, if 10 come and subscribe,
There you go.
hey,
That's a big
there
deal.
we go. You know, that's 10 more
That's it,
eyes.
yeah.
That's 10 more people that are going to see the videos on Friday night.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Some communities are a bit pushing it, but it's good to have variety and see that everyone gets a chance, right? But there is obviously a filter. Like you can't have if you go to it's going to be traditionally bringing in more toxic people to that community. You may get some coming over, but I guess that's up to you. To just,
But
I don't know.
I also see this community like there's a lot of OGs here,
Yeah.
and this community is pretty well established. So whenever newcomers come, they're obviously welcome. But if somebody comes out of line very quickly, they'll be called out very quickly. I call them out almost immediately, like Ray, between little becoming friends.
right, and
Yeah.
I'll usually, I try and bite my tongue, and I'm trying to be pretty professional, especially because it's not just my brand. I have Chad's brand that I'm promoting too, so I really have to bite my tongue. But every now and again,
Only
it
all.
slips out, and I go off, and
Me too,
I
Clay.
feel a little bit better, and
Yeah,
then
I love you still,
bite my
buddy.
tongue, and I bite my tongue for another year. I love
Yeah.
you too, Preston.
Well, and the thing is that also at the same time, if Clay has an issue with somebody, Clay goes off on somebody, that's Clay. He's not speaking for me.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Clay's
that's-
speaking for Clay.
That's important. Yeah.
And sometimes I
I,
think in our community, again,
I
people seem to want to lump not only
Yeah, I don't
Clay
like
said that
I'll always point to the person who's doing the talking. Just
but it rolls out like
Oh,
yeah.
I
Of
mean
course.
basically Povot probably was behind anything that Clay
he's
said.
like, what?
So
Look at me.
that's the perception that has happened with some.
I told you I'd done
No,
dropped
it
his
is.
name at a bar and they kicked me out. I was like, I know Chad
Bean
Freeman. They're
bean
like, get
bug.
out of here.
Like, and this show isn't about calling names and calling people out.
Except for
But
damn
there-
Don Hanley.
Except for Ray.
There are people. There are people in this community that are out to shut my channel down. I've gotten
Oh, that's
more
real
than
good.
one email from people, and I may have a mole or two out in the community that people don't know about. But I receive emails about people telling me different things that they're trying to do to get my channel shut down, and I just have to rise
Yeah.
above it. And I'd go out and just do it every Friday night. And if they don't want to, if they think they can take my channel down or want to take my channel down, I welcome them to try. I follow all the terms of service on YouTube, and that's all I need to do.
Yep.
But my point is, just because you may have a problem with me, you shouldn't say blacklist Chad, because Chad had nothing to do with what I did before we met
Yeah.
Chad. Chad's a businessman. He's a promoter, one of the best in the business. I got to tell you guys. He does so
Knows
much
some
work
more
behind the
boys, too.
scenes. You guys would be amazed. And,
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
so for instance, last night, yesterday I put out a video, and I chewed somebody's ass on the video. Chad had nothing to do with that, but he might get some hate from that because he's kind of tied to me, and I feel bad about that. And
By association, yeah.
guilty by association.
You got your
yeah.
back, Chad.
Well, I told him don't do that again.
I try to
Well, I
reserve
gotta-
all my hate for
He-
Chad
he-
personally.
I personally back that video wholeheartedly. So coming from me, I am on board with that, and I'm proud of my brother for doing that one. I have to say.
But
I kind
But
of
it is-
went off on
but,
somebody on mine.
you know, because I may believe a certain way or a certain thing, I don't bring, and you will never see me bring my political beliefs onto this channel, because it's not about me. It's about the indie artists that I promote, and I have at times let some of them down, and I've tried to make up for that. And I try to learn from my mistakes, and I think I've learned from the few mistakes that I've made to try and make the channel better. But at the same time, if it wasn't for all you guys in chat and all you guys on panel, I wouldn't even be here. So, major shout out to you guys, and this is an awfully
go.
big family.
thank you
and,
too, Clay.
I love all you guys.
Well, you helped.
And-
You helped too, man.
I learned a lot from you, even though you don't.
That's
might
the
not look
important
that way.
thing is definitely learning from mistakes and then moving forward with that, and not repeating any of the same mistakes. So there are some people that never do; they just do the same thing, same behavior, and they're never ever going to learn. So
Yeah, you're gonna say the
Even
wrong
if
thing
you-
every once in a while.
Even if you do repeat the same mistakes, I mean, if you put out there the intention that you don't actually want to do it, I mean, there's certain things. It's a hot touch topic, but any kind of addiction, you don't want to do it. You can see that it's causing negative harm, but sometimes and that's a pretty extreme example. But I mean, sometimes we're human, right? And the intention, I think, is everything. But that's
Yeah, we have to allow each other to make mistakes.
mhm.
Lord knows I've made plenty.
And I'm a good example of that as well. I have learned to be careful who I make certain types of comments to before I make them, because sometimes somebody could take that very seriously, what I said, and it could hurt them. And that is never my intent. It is never my intent. My intent is always just to say something that's going to make people laugh. So yeah,
I always say
yeah,
it that
and
way when you say.
I have
something.
learned from that. I now don't make those type of comments to certain people unless I really, really know them well, and I know I can do that, and that they will understand that it is just a joke, and that I'm not being serious about it. Because yeah, my intent is never to hurt anybody. It's not what I do.
And sometimes also like a lot of the truth is hidden behind a joke, but you can also tell when it isn't. Like when you say something, dog, I don't feel like you're trying to like do like a backhanded compliment or something. Like you're actually just
No.
making a joke.
Yeah,
You know,
that's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when it is a backhanded compliment, that's the joke. Like it.
Well, yeah, that can be a joke as well. Of course.
It's
Yep,
just
yep,
being
yep,
sarcastic,
yep.
right?
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
And that goes for anyone, right?
Context
It-
matters.
It's really a personality thing. You can tell.
Yeah.
You can usually tell in person, obviously, not through text, because that's
Well,
different.
A lot of
Okay, well,
a lot
here's
of
an
jokes
example.
self-deprecating.
Oh,
So here's an example. So if Preston was to come into my chat and talk shit about development of a void and be like, "Oh, you're fucking horrible guitar player," we all know
As he always does.
that we're all friends and we're just ribbing each other. But now, if
Yeah.
a new person came into chat that I didn't recognize, said, "Oh, fucking development of void's fucking horrible guitar player," I'd be like, "Who the fuck are you, bro?" Right?
And
Yeah,
actually,
It's me trolling myself.
I actually have
If you-
problems letting people down as a joke. I feel bad.
if you tell a Void that he's a great guitarist, though, he's
Oh.
going to be like, "Why are you trolling me?"
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And now we have a problem.
or
But
it's
that's-
just like
Yes.
Now I
But
don't
just-
trust you.
But you can see people, playing in chat and joking in chat. But a new
yeah.
person can't really come in and be like, be part of the joke. You know what I mean?
Some people can't
You
handle
need
it.
to establish yourself first. You have to have a presence in that community before you can really start dropping jokes like that and know that you can get away with it.
Right.
That's because people have to have the time to get to know, to kind of get a judge of character, right? And yeah, it's a red flag when they just come in full heavy-handed with trolling.
Yeah, exactly.
First impressions matter.
Yes.
And so do third impressions and eighth impressions.
Depression.
I don't know who development of
People to
Boy
do
is. That's someone else.
impression. Impressionism is an art form. I don't know.
Impressionism is an art form.
I think so too.
But yeah,
But it comes
definitely.
from depressionism.
How did you know that?
Nice.
I'm an
Now
artist.
Probably fucking does.
This is one of the problems that I see in the community.
Really?
There are certain members that are just comfortable where they are, and they don't want to build a bigger community, or they don't want to be part of something.
Oh yeah.
So, how does that make me feel when I bring all of these new people into this community? I'm helping a person grow their community, but they get nothing in return. Absolutely zero in return. You know what I mean? I feel that's a troll. I feel I get trolled that way,
Yeah.
That's when they kick
the
rocks, bro.
point.
Yeah.
But I do feel like
Yeah,
I get
I
trolled.
hear that.
But now there's other people in the community that work together, and I think they just see the bigger picture. I think they see something larger than just one
Dancing
community.
Scottish white boy.
Right?
Scottish white boy dance studio guy, JDL, right out there. Yeah,
Yeah, that's coming soon, isn't it?
coming soon. I am opening
every-
branches all over the globe. Yes, for that.
All over.
JDL are working hand in hand on that. Going to bring you those Scottish white boy dance moves.
You make a million. You
such
make
as
millions.
drunk.
JDL.
Yeah, the drunk dad at your
Yeah.
wedding is one of the great dance moves that he could teach you. Science teacher at your prom is another good one.
Only
Oh,
circles in
nice.
one direction.
Yeah.
I have to say that Len Steals My Sunshine cover was just amazing. I was actually on JDL's. I'm on Deezer. That's like kind of like Tidal or Spotify or whatever. And I was actually looking at his page today. That's kind of cool.
Whose page?
JDL. John
Oh,
Davis.
JDL's great.
That's a
Hell
good
yeah.
point, Pete. There'll always be groups that peel away from the community because they like it more intimate.
Well, that's true. Yeah. and,
I suppose.
there's just listeners, lurkers, which do matter.
It's gonna grow, man. It has to grow.
Well, the thing I gotta say,
I like chat.
now coming
do.
from our community. Now, other communities might be different. Our community is based on promoting indie artists. So when I see somebody that wants to close down their community, to me,
Oh,
they're
that's
like,
not-
why don't you want to make your community larger so you can get these people more views?
Why?
Yeah. You want a
Yeah.
big promoting company.
Right?
Mhm.
Well,
Why
no,
don't you want all these people coming in so you get more views? It doesn't make sense to me. That's
There
the part
are-
that doesn't make sense to me.
if you pay a lot of money, you can get a lot of bots on your channel to make it appear as you've got tons of viewers, or subscribers, right? Or you pick
Right.
tons of impressions or tons of this. I've seen the sites before, and I don't use them. Obviously, if you see my page, it's not has too much, but if there's a vast difference,
Yeah.
then
You
it
can
could be
see it.
right. So
That's a dangerous thing to do, to pay for subscriptions or views. That is a very dangerous.
actually-
You're rolling the dice with your channel. I put
Yeah,
too much
yeah.
work into
Yeah.
my channel.
Well, I went
Yeah,
and checked. You can actually use YouTube and pay YouTube to advertise for you. Now I
Yeah.
looked into that. Now I know other streamers that use it. I looked into it, but it's just too expensive for me, bro. Really, like $200 for 1,000 views? Come on, man. That's
no.
not cheap.
but there are also
Yeah.
there are also other sites which aren't affiliated with YouTube that you pay less, but
Promoters.
it's all Very
digital
dangerous that way.
promote.
To me, it's all about the
My
interaction. bro.
Yeah, don't buy
I
bots.
can't have bots interacting. I don't
my
believe in
think-
bandmate.
I
uses
honestly
YouTube,
think
sorry,
Indy
Facebook
misspelled
promoter.
boots.
Yeah. Well, as
No,
Don't buy boots
bots.
for fairies.
Hi, Indy. How you
Yeah.
doing?
as a
Andy.
performer, before being a YouTuber, I want people who are going to watch my show. I'm trying to entertain people. I don't care about. I wouldn't want fake views because that's not real people. You know what I mean? It's not. They're not real. So I would not. I would have no feeling of satisfaction after doing a show if I knew that I had just paid a bunch of bots to be in there to make it look like I was doing something.
I'd rather
There would
have
be no
trolls.
satisfaction in that whatsoever.
Well,
Yeah.
I feel fortunate. I just today passed 4,000 subscribers.
Yay!
Oh, nice.
Congratulations,
Uh,
man.
Now
That is incredible.
on a Friday
That's
night,
organic.
I get on average about 500 views for my show.
Holy shit.
That is like 1/6 of my viewers. To me, that's huge. That is a lot of people.
It's a good ratio.
It's a good ratio to me. I think.
I
Out of
get,
4,000 people, if I can get 500 of them coming back every week to watch my stuff, that's huge to me.
I know.
you know?
I know.
500
Do my-
subs, and I have an average of 100 views on my live streams
Yeah.
throughout the week.
See? Yeah,
So
exactly.
25%. Now, I don't think all of them are subscribers,
Well,
but
I mean, most people that I've heard as they're growing a YouTube channel, they start out at 0, right? Like everyone else. But they say it takes it can take like 1 to 2 years to get 2,000. I don't know how long you've been doing it for, Clay, but that's
14 years.
incredible.
3
That's good
years.
progress, right?
Well,
Once you
I've-
get to the point,
If you put in the work, man,
Well,
you'll
I've
get it
had my
quicker.
channel since 2012, but I've really only used it since the beginning of the pandemic, since I uploaded my first
Yeah.
video. So only about 3 years.
So we met, I think,
That's
about
pretty good.
there.
and how much of that time were you streaming?
Just last year, just the last year.
See, there you go. That's amazing growth.
I know, last year and a half, maybe, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. a
God,
year
I
and
don't
a
even
half,
know
Yeah.
anymore. Jesus,
I know.
Mhm.
But I always do
so
shows
many.
on other people's channels.
I know so
because
many
I
shows on
didn't-
other people's channels. It's hard. To,
And-
I don't.
That-
And I
that's
just want
how
to
I
address
always did
this
my
real
stuff.
quick. I did kick you, make stupid people famous. You weren't adding anything to the discussion, and yeah, you were just
Thanks, Chad.
basically trolling. So
Thanks, Chad.
There was a lot of noise happening too, background noise.
Pete John said it took
Like a dog.
2
2
years,
years
to get
for
his
his-
first 1,000, and
Me
that's
too.
about what I got. It took me
Same here.
2 years to get to my first 1,000.
Well, now I
know.
started in the 1A community, started building my channel there, and then I moved to the karaoke community, and I started because I used to sing with my acoustic, and that's where I got to my first 1,000 subscribers. After a year of doing that, I got to my first 1,000 subscribers. I played so many Australian and Filipino karaoke shows. I was about sick of it. And then when I hit 1,000, that's when I started to stream. And then it's just been one hell of a train ride, I got to tell you, since then.
I know. Well, it's like my show that I'm doing now. I have to start all over because now I'm doing it on my channel. It's like everybody knows me, but I've always done shows on other people's channels. Now I'm doing it on my own, and it's a little different kind of show. I didn't want to do the same thing that all you guys are doing because you guys got the music community covered, and I have so many indie bands that I want to play from around the world, rock bands. So I'm doing that, and I'm mixing in some community members as well. But
That's why I
because
just
it's on my
played.
own channel, I'm struggling to get 200 views when I'm used to getting way more than that.
Yeah.
So it's a little weird. I'm starting over, but it's a little different format too, though.
Now,
Yeah.
this is something that me and Doc did when we started. We were like, all right, let's make a goal. Let's see if we can get 200 views on a show. And once we got there, like, okay, let's get out there
500.
and do some more work. Let's get out there and work it some more. Let's get out to these new
Yeah.
communities. We need more. Let's work it. And
Yeah,
so-
then our goal was 500 after that. And once we hit 500, my own particular goal was to get a show that hits 1,000 because you don't see that in the music community.
Right.
And now I am so far from that.
Unless
Now I'm
you're
like at 200.
Nice.
But you know you
well,
can do it.
we'll get you back up there.
Yeah, you'll get up there. quick.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
So far, so good.
So yeah, it's good to make your own show with a different vibe than everybody else. That's what I try to do. Even if the numbers are low, it keeps it interesting.
Yeah,
And
you
that's
gotta
true.
stay
Doc's right. In the indie community, there's already like 5 major channels. It's Metalhead Hippie,
Sure.
Jade Star,
Yeah.
Thomas Christ, Low Reality,
you.
Pete Johns, and me, basically, are the ones that
Yeah.
do this. And everybody does it a little bit different. Some you have
15.
and
15.
15th Ben. Some you have
Yeah,
to
yeah.
send in links to. Me, I'm the only channel. All you gotta do in my channel is just show up and chat. Because I wanted something different. I'm like, well, fuck everybody else. You got to email a link
Yeah, that's
in.
such a cool
and-
format, Clay.
which is
Yeah.
nice. It's nice. I got to tell you, it's really nice having a playlist. I don't have to I'm not hurrying searching for fucking links the whole time, you know? So sometimes it's nice having a playlist, but when I see people in chat, and I'd always see these people in chat, but none of their music was getting played.
Yeah.
So I was like, it'd be awesome if why don't I just show up and chat? I'll just play everybody that shows up in chat.
It's fair too.
It's more organic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is that it does take. Well, the way I do it is I build a playlist, and then
Mhm.
if it's not somebody that regularly comes, I let them know. And sometimes even the ones that regularly are there, I let them know.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of contacting people saying, "Hey, I'm going to be playing your song. Here's the link," and that sort of thing.
Mhm.
So it definitely. I don't know.
They both work.
Yeah, they do. They do. But yeah, I am not wanting people to email me or that sort of thing either. To me, it's almost like the whole pay for play thing of I'm not getting to actually curate what I'm doing, and
Yeah, you're kind
the
of
way
a
you do
slave
it,
to you're a slave to your subscribers, basically.
yeah,
At that
yeah,
point.
Yeah.
and,
I
and the way
can't do
you
that.
do it, we can always throw in whatever we want, and that's what
Yeah.
I like about your show as well. So
Yeah, I like that too. We can change it up at any amount of time. I got it. I'm not gonna lie
Yeah.
though. I helped Doc with his playlist last night, and it was really fucking nice just being able to open up the next song without fucking typing it and having it ready in queue and like having everything all lined up. All I had to do is press next.
Yeah.
So that part made it nice.
It's like a day off.
Yeah, it was. It was kind of like but I like the way that I do it because everybody gets a chance.
I was going to say you didn't have to build the playlist. He did that job.
Yeah.
That's the hard part.
Yeah, I didn't have to build the playlist. True.
Yeah. I enjoy putting my set list together because I have so many bands that I've found. I have a huge private playlist to choose from. So it's a lot of fun. I enjoy doing the set list during the week for the Saturday show. And then I sprinkle in some of the music community artists as well.
Hey Doc.
Particular ones that I choose myself. Yeah.
Lefty Lucy says, Doc gives me Gene Wilder vibes. When was the last time you was at the chocolate factory, bro?
Ooh. Hey, that's the first time I heard Gene Wilder, though. That's a new one right there. Thank you.
Yeah, I haven't heard that
Appreciate
one.
that.
Hey, that's a compliment.
At least it wasn't
I like
Howard
Gene
Stern.
Wilder.
That's good.
Gene Wilder is good. Oh.
Yeah, you eat all the candy.
Yeah, I've not heard that one before. Okay.
A lot of candy. Damn it.
So we started this.
We
this
love you,
conversation-
Shelley.
Oh,
And we appreciate you guys for sure. Hey, Joko, let me give you a wrench, Joko. Let me give.
And that's another thing. I'll tell you
VGN
one thing I
karaoke too.
appreciate a lot is the non-musicians that come to watch. I really, really, really appreciate them.
Good point.
And that's
Me
that's
too.
another thing that I wanted to make it a nice environment for them also. Because they are the
Okay,
ones
Chris.
that really drive me, with the people that come to see the music, the people that don't play music. That's like, I'm coming to hear your music at Clay's show. That's really cool to me,
Yeah, I think some of my biggest supporters are non-musicians.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I'll tell you guys.
Yeah, mine too, I think.
One of the biggest compliments I had ever got. So I have a friend, his name's Mike Malloy, and he was a scam baiter for a long time. And then he changed formats. He doesn't do that anymore. He got old. Anyway, I met this girl. What the fuck is her name? Connie. I met this girl Connie over
Connie
there.
from up
And
north.
she
Connie from up north.
was in a hospital, and she was talking to my friend Mike on panel, and she was talking about music, and I was like, oh, really? So I went over to her channel, and I was fucking blown away.
Oh yeah.
So I started playing her music, and I invited her to the channel. She came over, and she started watching, and she gave us one of the best fucking compliments
Yeah.
I've ever heard.
Yeah, this was the best.
So she and her husband was on their way somewhere. He had a heart attack, went through an intersection. They got T-boned.
He was
She broke
driving the
both-
car. She was the passenger.
She broke both of her arms, both of her legs, and her back.
Yeah.
And she was laid up in the hospital. And she told us one night that, because did we have her on panel? I think
No, we
may
never
have
had her on panel, no, but she was always in the chat.
Yeah. She told us one night that because she was a musician too, and she's an amazing. I'll actually look up the song. But she told us that her sitting in her hospital bed and watching me and Doc put on the show gave her the inspiration to get up out of bed, and she would go down, listen to our show. She would walk down to the waiting room and watch our whole show down there until the nurses came, brought her back up to the room. And I just thought, and she's like, if it wasn't for you guys gave me the motivation to get out of bed, and so I can make music again. And I thought that was just like the most.
Yeah, and
awesome.
she also
That's
said
the
that
best.
we she said that we got her through one of the hardest times in her life. Was one of the specific quotes that she made. And yeah, we both of us hear a lot of stuff about, yeah, we love your show and you do this and you do that. But it really was one of the most heartfelt things that we could have ever heard.
Super
And
cool.
Yeah, I think that was
It's
a
phenomenal.
greatest
An
compliments.
motivator.
Yeah, we should hear that. We should
Yeah.
listen to one of her songs. So. And I haven't heard from
Yeah.
her in about a year, and so I hope
I know.
she's doing okay.
Yeah, she was around a lot for that point in time, and then she kind of disappeared. But this one particular song that we played was a real
bring it up.
tearjerker song.
Oh yeah, I'll bring it up.
Yeah,
Yeah, we gotta watch.
it is. She wrote this song for her father was dying, and he was in hospice, so he had hospice workers, and she wrote this particular song about the hospice workers that helped her get through this particular time. And yeah, Walk You Home. That's it. Yeah. Amazing song. So we're going to listen to that. You're going to want to get out your tissues for this one, because remember the backstory behind this particular song.
Yeah, so yeah, this one she dedicated this to all the hospice workers, and yeah, this is definitely a tearjerker. And it's one of them songs that just makes you think. And you know, I got to just say shout out to them hospice workers, because that's got to be a tough job, walking people to the end of their life every day. You know what I mean?
I could not do a job like that. That would emotionally
I couldn't
destroy
either.
me.
I
No,
couldn't either.
I'd rather work at a graveyard.
Yeah, right.
it would be easier.
All right, and I'll drop her link in the chat as well. So this is our friend Connie Lynn, and this song's called "Walk You Home."
I thought we had 100 years, but that's turned into days. And how do I put into words everything given us the strength and courage to help us get through. When we walked you home and you journeyed day and night, you were never alone. We took your hand and walked you home. Clock on the wall just keeps ticking. Precious moments slipping by. Every second brings us closer to saying goodbye. I will walk you home with your journey day or night. You won't be alone. Come take my hand, I'll walk you home. I will walk you home with your journey day or night. You won't be alone. Take my hand, I'll walk you home. I will walk you home. I'm gonna hug you. I'm gonna love you. Ever, never more. I will walk it's you okay. Don't be afraid. No more pain. Oh, it's so hard to let you go. I will walk you home. I will walk you home.
It's an amazing song right there.
Yeah, I hope she's doing
whoop.
well. I miss Connie.
Yeah. Shout out to you, Connie.
Real nice lady. Hope she is well.
Quite the trooper.
Well, I gotta say, we're approaching the 3-hour mark. I think we'll end it at the 3-hour mark. And I gotta say, it's been an amazing night. We had a lot of feedback. A lot of community members here came and talked. There's a lot of talk going on in the chat. And the great thing about this is it's going to happen once a month. And I don't know, this time slot seemed to work for everybody because we had almost 80 people in here at one point.
Nice.
Wow.
So
Glad I made it.
So we'll definitely be doing this at least once a month. We'd love for some of the other community members, the other indie streamers, to get in contact with either me and Chad and be part of one of these roundtables and bring up some of the things that you guys see in your communities that maybe we could use in other communities to make the family much bigger and better and safer place for everybody. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How many
And
trolls
now
did you get today?
I don't think it's any.
Any? Oh, okay.
No,
No.
I was
the
expecting
chat
a
from what
few
I
with a
saw-
title
Yeah.
like this.
Clay
Let me go
says
there
we
and be
didn't get
funny.
any. Clay said we didn't get any. But
Well,
I
okay,
count
there may
Billy.
have been.
I
Yeah,
count
one.
Billy.
That's
I
the
Okay.
count.
I thought Billy was fucking around.
Oh yeah,
It
make
doesn't
keep
matter.
super people famous. Yeah.
We,
No.
Maybe
we're
a
doing a
couple.
serious show, so it's like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, this
Um,
was a
Yeah.
serious show. Yeah, no place for
That's right.
Billy. We love you, Billy. But
Mm.
yeah, this show definitely a little too serious for you, bro.
I
Glad he'd
think
have some input because he deals with a lot of trolling. But you know, when you show someone your butthole, what do you expect? You know.
yeah.
That's
Just
not a
saying.
troll. That's love.
Well, I mean,
Oh,
depending,
yeah.
switch genders, and is that really a troll?
Oh, I
Yeah,
don't know.
there's different. I don't know. Yeah, it can be a bit dicey. I don't know.
Depends how hairy it is.
Okay.
But
No, I think it's pretty straight across the
well,
board.
well, you bring up a good point. Now, here's the thing: is that it can go both ways, and as far as being a positive and a welcoming and safe space for everybody, we wouldn't want it, you know, any men to feel the same way that maybe women might feel sometimes
Mm.
with
Right.
any sexualization or
right.
sexism. I mean, it can definitely go, you know, both ways.
Well, and the
Maybe
good thing-
so, less so, but at the same time, it is still something to think about and be aware of. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely no place in this community or in any community, in my opinion, for racism, sexism, and bigotry.
I
You
agree.
know? So I
Stomp
think as
on
long
that
as
half a heartbeat.
right, and I think as long as all of us streamers and community members and content creators are all on the same page, we don't have to like each other. But it's not about us; it's about the content that we bring to the people. And for me, the content is indie artists. So for me, working with other indie content creators it would be a good thing because it just makes the community larger. And the more eyes on them indie artists, the more views they get, and the better it is for everybody, in my opinion.
I would like to thank everybody that stuck with us in chat, man. I appreciate y'all coming out and checking this out and giving us the input to what, you know, you want out of me, y'all, anybody. I just appreciate them coming out and, you know, letting us know how they feel about the issue.
Yeah,
Right.
I think some people might thought this was gonna be like a witch hunt or something. I hope it wasn't.
No.
I wasn't here for the beginning.
No.
But,
No, not at all. I could have turned it into one real quick. I
Yeah,
got
that's
a
too
few
easy,
people
though.
on my
Oh,
back,
yeah.
but
That's
I would have
Yeah.
been right on board with that, but we didn't.
but it comes back to biting my tongue, and I think just open lines of communication in the community is a good thing, and I think we could all definitely learn something tonight, even if it was just to hang out, to be part of a bigger family, and to know that we all need to keep an eye out for them disruptors in the chat. And
Yeah.
especially you guys, because you are the ones that are in all of the music channels that we don't always get to be at. So you guys get to see a lot more than we do, and you would be able to say, "Hey, this guy was just over in Lure Reality's chat, you know, putting down women." Well, I have
Yeah.
no place for somebody like that in my chat, so you know.
Yeah.
So
I
it's
think
important that we get them lines of communication open.
I think what would be
Oh,
really
yeah.
good is that if we not only just do these panels or whatever, because these are more of a thought-provoking panel, more of a serious thing. So it's good to kind of like run it through your head after the panel. I don't know if you're a community member or if you're anyone, regardless. You know, I saw, I don't know, this is just a random thought, but I saw this thing where people they're not allowing themselves time to reflect
Yeah.
on certain things and let certain concepts gel. And I think that's where it all really happens. And with such busy lives, we don't get necessarily a time to let the things sink in. But
A lot of people don't have a philosophy to begin
Sorry
with,
to hear, Doc.
yeah.
so it
Hope
isn't
he
even
does
crossed
feel
their
better.
mind.
Mm.
yeah, not only that, but that goes back to what I was saying earlier: communication with everybody, with the people in chat, with the other streamers, and then
Mhm.
also, yes, what you're talking about, you know, self-awareness and reflecting on what we're discussing. Yeah, it's very, very
I
important.
think about
And
sometimes. Sorry, go ahead.
I was
Yeah.
just going to say, and then also, I just wanted to tell everybody that's in the chat and anybody that watches, my show or me with Clay or whatever, to also, hold me accountable, hold Clay accountable. I mean, if we do something that's out of
Exactly.
line,
Hmm.
let us know. And if you have, somebody in chat that is being inappropriate or whatever, or you feel like there's something there, you let me or Clay know.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
if it's something that you don't want to put out in chat, my email is on my about page, and anybody can email me with any concerns that they have.
If you hate me,
Private
please let me know.
messages.
I've got
And
I've got an idea.
What's that?
I just sorry, I don't want to interrupt anybody. There's an idea, and it's off. I'm just thinking of this show, Hot Ones. Almost everyone knows the
Oh.
show. It's like an
Yeah.
interview show.
I saw the Undertaker on
Yeah,
that.
I
one.
like the
Right?
hot ones. Yeah.
And at the end of it, what they do is they go around the group of people. Oh no, they don't have it. They only have one person, but you know what I mean. They ask them, "What are you doing now? What can people look out for?" And I know that a lot of people don't like promotion in the chats, but as far as streams, if people are paying attention, maybe if someone's on there and they're like, "Oh yeah, well I haven't mentioned I made a couple beats or I made a couple songs or I've
I
got
like
this."
that.
Maybe that could fit in somewhere. I'm not sure.
Well, yeah.
It's
Well, see,
promoting,
and that's
right? That makes sense.
that's
Yeah.
why
I think
that's
yeah,
why everybody
sorry,
on
go
my
ahead.
channel has a wrench, is so they can, if they have, hey, I got an upcoming
Share a
premiere. The only thing I
Yeah.
ask is don't spam the chat. But
Oh,
yeah, you
yeah.
got an upcoming
Ray.
premiere. Make
Sometimes
sure
you
you
go
post
by
it,
and
right?
you're paying attention to the chat or you're paying attention to the screen. And
Right.
So
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say that you were going to pass out hot sauce or something.
yeah, well, no,
I'm
that,
down for that.
I mean,
that's originally what I was going to talk about, but
Yeah, we're gonna
I
do the
said
one chip
earlier
challenge.
that
Sauce X.
I
So
said
listen,
earlier that. Sorry, go ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead, Preston. You've been cut
I
off
said
like 4
earlier-
times. You go.
It's okay. I said earlier in chat that decency costs nothing but can save a life. That's the one reason why I'm careful about what I say in chat, because you just never know who's there and what they're going through. One kind word can save them from who knows what. Right.
Very true.
So,
All right,
and
let's
that's
go
it.
around the
That's all I
circle.
wanted to say.
Let everybody know what you got coming up. I'll go first. I'll let you guys know what I have coming up this week. Friday night, we have a normal indie show, so we're going to be playing normal indie artists. Whoever shows up in chat first gets played first. We can do about 35 artists, so basically the first 35 artists coming up in chat will get played first. Next Sunday, we'll be back. We'll be doing rock and rabbit holes. I'm not sure what the indie artists are going to delve into next week.
did you get my message on that about the idea?
Oh, I might have missed that. I might have missed it. We may have an idea for next rock and rabbit hole, so stay tuned.
Well, I can throw it out there. So the idea I had was diving into whistling at night attracts demons or ghost spirits.
Yeah.
This is something that I never heard. I mean, I was whistling and my girlfriend said, "No, don't do that at night." I was like, "What are you talking about?" So I started Googling it, and it's pretty like goes back to ancient tribes and
Ooh,
and
that sounds
I mean, there's
interesting.
a
Tell me
and then I
more.
was like, we can have somebody come up and actually whistle on the
I'll do
show
it.
too, and then they can let us know if anything weird happened to them.
Yeah.
The
Who knows? They
next
play-
rabbit hole show.
Ooh,
You play
I
no
bet,
green.
I bet the professor.
I know, right?
I bet the professor knows something that we don't.
Right.
I mean, he's pretty
Making that
connected to
Death
Taylor
Whistle.
Swift.
I'm
so-
sure he knows a lot about
Connected.
something we don't know.
Exactly. But yes, that's what we have coming up Friday and Sunday. Paul, you got anything coming up anytime soon here?
I'm gonna be making a video with music in it.
About 10
Oh
of them.
wow! Ooh,
Yeah.
you're innovative.
How
No,
many?
man, I'm gonna try to finish up this Asylum album that I've been working on, and of course, y'all know I put out probably a video a week or so and I may take a little breather, and I'm probably going to be working on some negative comments for Avoid.
Yes.
And
Oh, cool.
other than that, just taking it easy.
You don't have to work on that. Just let it come from the heart, or where your heart should be.
What do you got coming up, Preston?
So Wednesday I have a live stream. Probably just going to do some metal and teach some of that because that's what I'm going to be doing. And at the end of the month, I'm doing a live like set list, 20 some odd songs. Just going to plow through them, picked by you guys, whoever. My list.
Yes,
And
sir.
just so you guys know, I have everybody's link is in my description, so you guys make sure you hit everybody up. What about you, Doc Danger? What you got coming up, bro?
Oh, I got lots of stuff coming up. You can check out my new show, the Doc Danger Music Show. That is Saturday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And I play rock bands from all around the globe. And I mix in a whole bunch of music community artists as well, just to try to keep you guys interested. And that is on my own channel now. We got a road show coming up September 20th, Wednesday, September 20th at 9 p.m. Eastern. Going to be over on Debo's Nation channel, doing our thing over there. And we have a host more of road shows coming up in the future. And also go to my channel and check out my Karen of the Dead video because it's actually really, really funny. And that's kind of what I got going on.
All right,
Yes,
Void,
sir.
what you got coming up, bro?
I'm gonna start live streaming soon. I think I've been telling people that for like the past month, but I've been setting it up. I'm learning how to use OBS and StreamYard. But I want to ask a question to the chat. Like, how many of you stay up after these shows? Because I don't want to get in the way. Like, I want to stream Friday,
What's
but I don't
sleep?
want to do it because Conspiracy does it Friday. But after 1 o'clock or after whenever it's over, I do want to go on stream and do
You know,
something.
there
I like
there
those
are
red eye
often
streams.
times.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Preston does red eye streams. There are often times on a Friday night where we have 30 people in chat, and they're like, "What do we do now?" And they have no place to go. And I frantically search for another music program at 2 a.m. Eastern, and there isn't one.
Yeah. Well, I'm a night owl. I literally just woke up like 2 hours ago.
I know, I am too, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a day owl.
You're a day owl.
I'm just
The white
I go to sleep. I go to sleep when the sun's rising.
Exactly. I'm the complete.
Okay.
I'm like a 6 to 10 person, but like the other way around. But
Yeah, me
anyways,
too.
yeah,
Since
I'm gonna
forever.
start doing that. I'm gonna start live streaming, and it's gonna be mostly just me. I'm not gonna play other people's music. Maybe sometimes. I like the way Axe does it. It's usually him, but then he might
Yeah.
play
Do it,
someone's
Avoid.
song,
I'll watch you.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, okay, let me tell you something. That's how it started for me. I started streaming, playing my own music, and I'm like, "Fuck, I need a cigarette. I need to go find a
Right,
video
right.
so I can go smoke a cigarette."
Yeah.
Next thing you know, I'm
Miracles.
playing 40 videos.
Yeah. Well, I'll
That's
definitely
a
be
lot of
playing people's
smokes.
music too. But
But yeah,
I'm gonna
just
keep it
to
on the
break it up.
darker side of music.
right, just to break it up a little bit. Yeah.
I
Well,
play
awesome. I'm looking forward. Let us know when
local
you want to start streaming so we
Will
can
do.
make sure that we fucking promote the shit out of that.
We'll do.
What do you got coming up, Bandit? I know you've been pumping
Well-
out some tunes lately.
I wanted to mention the whole smoking thing. This entire time I've been using these Nicorette lozenges. So if you see my jaw gyrating, it's not because I always move around too. So like I'm just
He's
I'm
not
just
tweaking.
drinking
It's
Pepsi.
nicotine.
So
I quit smoking
anyways,
3 years ago. I feel that. Yeah.
yeah, and so the things that I have going on right now is I usually make like I don't know. Sometimes it's 1-3 beats. Sometimes it can be more than 8 beats a week. So I make instrumentals. Sometimes I play around with rapping. Sometimes I play around with singing and stuff like that. Not that I'm good at it, but the thing is I make tons of songs. I think on streaming services, I have about just over 480, maybe it's getting closer to 500 since 2020. If you want to check that out, any streaming service, Apple Music, Spotify, Deezer is my favorite one, or Tidal, or whatever you want. And then and my new album just came out. It's called Tasteless and Basic.
Nice.
And
Nice.
yeah, I played.
That's good, man.
Yeah, and it's the cover. I designed the cover art. It's pretty cool. It's got like a little raccoon and a bat, which are my logos and everything like that. But I'm gonna try to get into the streaming thing, although I'm not very consistent. Trying to get some stuff going in my personal life. But yeah, I'll just keep it at that. If you want to check out my stuff, it's got kind of like a haunting electronic kind of, but very cool kind of jazzy vibe to it. All right.
You can do it, man. You're a smart man.
Yeah.
Looking
What do you got coming up, Chad? Chad's always got a bunch of stuff coming up. His calendar is full to the end of the year, bro.
Yeah, I did add 2 special shows for later in the year. This coming up Saturday, 4 p.m. Eastern, is just a regular ham show. But then the week after is going to be the grunge show. And I've really got a great playlist of great new grunge bands that I'm going to be playing, and then also some covers of some classic grunge songs. And if anybody wants to contribute, which actually just found out today, Preston's got one that I'm going to end up playing.
Nice.
And the week after that is going to be the second volume of my show focusing on women artists. So that one's going to be good.
The first one was big.
Just be careful Preston doesn't get you shut down. That's all.
Hey,
I'm not in control of that.
hey, Doc, you got to be careful because Roque Avellaneda likes to shut your channel down as well.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
The channel
and
is Roque.
I wanted to shout out
Okay, chili peppers.
I wanted to shout out Axe and Nacho because this song that you're going to play to take us out, the Troll song, I saw it on Axe's live stream, which Monday and Wednesdays at 11 p.m. Eastern. He plays all kinds of music in between playing, which you were just talking about. Avoid doing that sort of thing. I think that works really well with a playing and then kind of giving yourself a breather by playing some cool indie music, exposing people. I started watching Amber and her live streams. She is a lot of fun. But anyway, just thought I'd throw that out there.
And I just want to remind anybody, if you guys have any suggestions, ideas, you can contact me. My email is on my About page. Miss Luck has also posted it in chat. Also, you can email Chad at Chad Ham Show.
Ham Show Chad.
Ham Show Chad at gmail.com.
Yeah.
So if you guys have any suggestions, and when I mean suggestions, any suggestions for our music show, or if you guys got suggestions for our rock and rabbit holes, if you guys got conspiracies that you guys want us to delve into, we'll look into that as well.
Roundtables.
Roundtable discussions, definitely roundtable discussions. If you guys got ideas, or if you got concerns that you want us to discuss on our next roundtable, email one of us and let us know. All right, let's take us home.
This was awesome.
This stream went for 3 hours and about 15 minutes. Thank all you panel members that showed up today and hung out with us and brought all of the knowledge that you guys brought with you. Also, shout out to all you guys in chat for hanging out with us. I think we came really close to hitting 80 people in chat tonight, so thank all you guys for coming out. And we definitely want to do this again because community discussion is definitely needed.
Right. And shout out to Burns, who's in the chat now. Got here late, but just in time to watch this awesome video.
Mr. Burns.
All right, everybody. Thank you for being here. We love you all. We're going to send us home with Amber Crowley, and this is the Troll song, and we'll see you guys real soon.
Take care.
See them hide behind their iPhone screen, spineless and vile, their comments obscene. They could choose our good community, but they're on my live stream being cruel and mean. Sad lonely troll, why you got to be so mean? Feel sorry for you, you gotta leave my live stream. You know this show's good vibes only. If you chose to be kind, you wouldn't be so lonely. I could reach through your phone, we'd be face to face. Hey, you're suddenly silent and you look afraid. Feel the power your troll so free. Sad, lonely troll, why you got to be so mean? Feel sorry for you, you gotta leave my life stream. Realize our tribe is good vibes only. If you chose to be kind, you wouldn't be so lonely. Only you can set your troll so free, feeling the positive energy will welcome you back if you can be respectful of our community. Sad, lonely troll, why you got to be so mean? Feel sorry for you, you gotta leave my life stream. Realize our tribe, good vibes only. If you chose to be kind, you wouldn't be so lonely. Sad, lonely troll, why you got to be so mean? Feel sorry for you, you gotta leave my life stream.
How to deal with cyber bullies. Number 1, ignore it. Don't react or respond to their negative comments or posts. Number 2, block online haters. If someone is making negative or hateful comments on your post or account or is cyberbullying, block them. If they're threatening you, tell a trusted loved one, report it to the platform, and take screenshots.